Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I trust you're having a wonderful day, a wonderful evening. Okay, so my services to be an amazing week, and we're going to have an amazing session today. And I tell you that, first of all, I want to apologize for yesterday. I did everything possible to make sure I join you all. Unfortunately, didn't work out. So tonight, I'm going to share that your time spent here will be of great value. So first of all, I want to appreciate the convener of this wonderful conference. I want to appreciate my professors for this amazing conference. And sincerely, I keep asking myself why she decided to host this free of charge. When I saw the flyer, I was thinking about this particular meeting, and I saw the flyer, I was so surprised that it's a free event. Okay,
Hi,
thank you so much. Thank you so much. Good evening.
good evening and welcome. Okay,
Thank you.
Solomon, I suggest you just hold on a bit. Let's have more people come into the studio before we kick off.
Okay, okay, no
Yes,
problem.
let's have more persons come into the studio. Daniel, you can remove him from the screen now. Let's have more persons come in, and then we replace Barry and do a reintro. Hi guys. Hello, everybody. If you are here, let's see you drop some comments, some emojis in the room. Can we see some energies in the room? How are we all doing? Good evening and welcome to day 2 of today's conference. Hello, is anybody in the room? Okay, Daniel, let's just continue with the overlay. Hi, Daniel. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yes, if you're in the room, can we see some chats? Can we see some energy in the room? Eloquence, thank you. Elizabeth, good to have you. Yes, we still need some persons in the room. Let's get some energies in the room. If you were here yesterday, I mean, just tell us what you learned. How was yesterday's session for you? Good evening, Elizabeth. I see you. Good evening. I hope you had a beautiful day. Temitayo, good evening. You're welcome. Our speaker for yesterday is already in the room, and we need to do this really fast, really fast. So, guys, can we go and invite other people to join us? Let's do that within the next 5-6 minutes. Let's have more persons in the room. Daniel says yesterday was amazing. Perfect. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Timitaya said yesterday was the blast. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, so we're just going to still hold on. Let's have more
I reached
persons
out to
coming to
Precious
the
and told
room.
her that I am open and willing to volunteer with her and work with her for free, pro bono. And then she was like, okay, no problem. Just keep in touch. And then I kept in touch. I didn't let her go. I was always at her DM. And then she reached out to me one day and said, can you be my executive assistant? I said, yes, ma. Of course, ma. Bring your CV. Then I was in 500 level. I was writing all my professional exams. If anybody's in nursing here, they would know how hard it is to be in 500 level, where you're writing professional exams. I was writing three professional exams at a go. That period I was drained to my bones. And at the end of the day, I got the role with her. I started with her. From there, I grew. I actually learned so fast and grew that I was already drafting the programs and drafting partnerships. That was where I grew my partnership skill. Yes, my partnership skill started in ISEC, but I developed and grew more experience when I was in when I was working at John Oyegun Public Service Center. I think that was where I also still got quite close with Esoe, the convener of this event. So it was really amazing working at John Odige Public Service Academy with her. I learned a lot from her. She's actually my mentor. She has trained me and groomed me in so many ways. And that's why I'm standing here today, sharing this with you, because I want you to know that the war doesn't start when you get a degree. It's already happening. The war actually is right now. You must have gone out to school, you must have finished school, you must have just entered into school, got your admission, or you are in your sophomore year, or you are in your penultimate year, or you are in your final year. The choices you make now, today, whether it's joining an organization, a club, or a volunteering, or starting an internship, all of those things would actually shape the person that you will become tomorrow. It's easy to think that, oh, I'll figure it out when I graduate. I have my family to help me with that. But wait, why do you have to wait after when you can do well? And that was why when Esoe reached out to me and was like, Ruth, I need you to be, I cried when she gave me the topic because it so resonated with me. Cried, I don't mean like literal tears. I was so emotional, like it warmed my heart. Because exactly the topic resonated so well with me because all of my experiences, all of my story about what has groomed me and formed me into what I am today. I'm currently working with an international development organization. I have seen myself doing that since my 300, 400 level. I saw myself working with an international organization. So I was preparing myself perpetually in that line. All the courses I was taking, all the leadership position I was taking, all the internship, all the volunteering opportunities, everything was intentional in that line. So I ask you the question again. But why wait? Why do you want to do after when you can do well? Your future self is being built from today. In the conversations you have, in the challenges you face, in the risks that you take on, the opportunities you create for yourself. There is a saying that says success is not a destination, it's actually a journey. And that journey starts from now. Don't beat yourself that, oh, I don't have time. I just finished school. I just finished. I just got out from school. I'm confused. Don't beat yourself. You can actually start now. I reached out to Precious and told her that I am open and willing to volunteer with her and work with her.
All right, guys. So since we have some persons in the room, we're just going to kick off. We don't want to keep our speaker waiting. So good evening, everybody. So we're just going to play his bio again, and then we bring him up stage. And so once his bio comes up, if your veteran hand should not be heavy now. We're just starting. Abi, I told you guys that yesterday was fire everywhere. Today there's going to be thunder and fire inside the studio, right? So I'm so excited because we are having a truckload of those today, right? We're going to be having Solomon Otta. You guys don't want to miss Eddie's session. You don't want to miss Frida's session. You don't want to miss any of the speakers' session. So, guys, we're just going to go ahead and then we're going to continue. So, before we bring up Solomon Otta, thank God that the network is good today. We're not going to miss this opportunity. So we must hear what he has in store for us. We must hear him. Our village people cannot win this battle at all. So we're just going to play his bio again, and then our moderator is going to bring him up stage. And I'm sure you guys, I hope you have your writing material. I hope you came with an open mind. That's all you need for this conference: an open mind, a willingness to learn, unlearn, relearn, and then jot things down. Don't think that you can keep them in your head. Jot things down so that you can take things out, right? So guys, Daniel, let's go. Let's have Solomon's bio, and then we bring him up. Thank you.
Mr. Solomon Otta is the lead consultant at SoftPoint Digital Consults, a tech and media firm that helps personal and business brands look attractive, grab attention, and experience 10 times growth, leveraging on content creation, digital services, branding, and consulting expertise. He is a digital content creator with in-depth knowledge in all the content forms, including text, video, audio, and graphics. He's the team manager and marketing officer at moneypedia.com, a leading blog focused on youth entrepreneurship, business opportunities, and grant funding. He is a recipient of the Writer of the Year Recognition Award in the Under 35 Awards, courtesy of Stop the Cycle campaign in 2019. He is a recipient of the International Youth Visionary Awards 2019, courtesy of Jamie Pujol International, and Young Leaders Impact Award, courtesy of Jamie Pujol University in 2024. He is a 2020 nominee for the 25 Under 25 Awards, courtesy of SME 100 in the Media and Communication category. He received an award as the Most Committed Actor of the Year in 2018, courtesy of Grace Theatre Ministry, and Most Active Creative of the Year in 2021, courtesy of the same brand. He received the Young Impact Award, courtesy of the Inspire Network. He received the Young Igbo Chinmaker Award in 2020, courtesy of Century Map. He has spoken in so many events, both offline and online. He received an award of recognition in 2020 from Jide Kaiji Global, same publishing firm that published his article in their global magazine. He has worked with local and international clients, offering services and products around content creation and digital marketing. He branded an international TEDx event, TEDx Bingerville in 2021, hosted in Ivory Coast. He has designed for brands like Lapo Microfinance Bank, Triple Cakes, APM Terminal, and WACT, Growth-Minded Educator Network. He facilitates the Writing Mastery Training and Smartphone Graphic Design Bootcamp. He also hosts a life-transforming Next Level Coaching program. Mr. Solomon Otta has directly and indirectly trained more than 10,000 people on content creation. He has held 20 editions of the Writing Mastery Training and has a course on smartphone graphic designing. He is an author of 14 ebooks and 1 paperback. His mantra is becoming the better version of your best. Solomon Otta believes that nobody is a nobody, so he wakes up every day seeking for one more life to bless. Mr. Solomon Otta is the lead consultant.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Good evening. Okay, so thank you so much once again for having me. Like I did earlier, apologies for yesterday. Tonight we'll just have to speed up things. And first of all, I want to thank the convener of this program for this great opportunity. And I want everybody who is live with me right now to appreciate the convener in the comment section. I want to see you drop some love emojis for the convener in the chat. Please do well to appreciate her. When I discovered that this is actually a free event, I was amazed because I'm seeing the caliber of speakers she assembled and the one she has assembled in previous editions I must commend her effort. I must commend her passion for people. Yes, personally, I believe in people over profits, and I feel that she truly represents it through this kind of conferences. So please do well to appreciate her in the chat. So tonight I'm going to be talking about a topic I'm so passionate about. But first of all, I want to tell you an experience I had just a few weeks ago. I attended a conference, FLE conference, and while I was in the conference, I had a short discussion with some friends. And I had a friend who came all the way from Anambra State, and somebody was trying to praise her, telling her that she is a great volunteer and she's in all the events he has actually attended. And I was just standing and watching them discuss. Then she turned and looked at me and she told the guy, no, that title is not for her. That title should be for Solomon Otter. Because according to her, I am always volunteering in virtually all the knowledge-based conferences in Owerri, in different cities and different states. And I actually felt happy knowing that somebody was able to recognize the fact that I have contributed immensely when it comes to volunteering. So I am going to be speaking on the topic leveraging internship and volunteering, gaining experience before graduation. I want to believe that in this particular section, we have different categories of persons. We have undergraduates, we have recently graduated students, we have some persons who are currently serving as core members, and we also have people who might have finished school, they've graduated, they've served, and currently they are working. And some persons also might still be waiting for the government to provide jobs. Whichever category you fall into, trust me, you are in the right place at the right time. And one thing I hope to achieve from this particular section is to show you the beauty of volunteering and why you should consider volunteering even as a student. Yes, many persons feel that life starts after school. Thanks to the speaker yesterday, she made us understand that life has already started. You don't need a degree to start your life. It is already happening to you now. Okay, so first of all, let's do some definitions. We have internship, we have volunteering. And trust me, these two words are actually almost the same. The only difference is that we use them for different kinds of program, okay, or different kinds of conditions or situation. For instance, internship is used mostly for organizations, okay? So organizations request for interns, they bring you in, they train you, and sometimes you receive stipends as an intern. So it's more like submitting to learning under an organization. You get a little pay, which originally is not the worth of your services, but the advantage is that you get to learn while working with the organization. When we come to volunteering, we can relate volunteering to more of projects and events. Okay, that's just the difference. Projects and events, while internship is organization. But if you use any of these words, you are not totally wrong. Now, when we talk about volunteering, we say volunteering means helping other people willingly without being forced or paid to do it. Volunteering means helping people willingly without being forced or paid to do it. That does not mean that you cannot be paid as a volunteer, but it is volunteering because you do it willingly and you are not doing it with the sole aim of receiving a pay. If money comes as an appreciation or reward, it is an additional advantage. Okay, but the main focus or goal of volunteering is not to get paid. Let us get this right. Now, let me also say this. Many persons have misunderstood the word volunteering. And that is why many students in school feel that volunteering is not for them. They shouldn't be part of volunteering because they see it as a wasted time and effort. Now, I don't know. I need somebody to confirm this. Have you ever heard somebody say something like this? You are being used. You are being used. Have you ever heard somebody say you are being used? Now, this is a statement that has deceived so many persons and made them restrict themselves or withdraw themselves from supporting people's vision. And this is ignorance, if you ask me. This is ignorance. The fact that you don't understand the advantage of volunteering has denied you the chance to actually volunteer. I can call myself Mr. Volunteering because I have been part of lots of projects and I find fulfillment in helping people achieve their goal. I find fulfillment in helping people get results. It has formed a core part of my existence. And trust me, whosoever I am today or I would ever become is not far from a reward I am getting as a result of volunteering. Yes. And the beauty of all this is that I did not just start today. Take this down. Volunteering is a seed planted to be harvested in future. Volunteering is a seed you plant to harvest in future. I learned leadership in the place of volunteering. I built capacity in the place of volunteering. I was able to make a name for myself in the place of volunteering. So I'll be sharing lots of my stories, both when I was still in school and now I'm out of school. And I am convinced that these stories will help you, especially for those who are still in school. Now, let me start this way. My first year in school, I told myself I was going to school to learn, just like every other person. I told myself I'm going to give myself 100% concentration on my studies. So I did not join any group, no social group, no religious group. I was only attending services, Sunday services, every Sunday, church services, every Sunday. I don't attend any other service. I wanted to focus on my studies. But guess what? In my first year in school, I got my worst result all through my school, even with all my focus and concentration in studies. Now, this is not me discouraging you from concentrating on your studies, but you get where I'm going to. So I spent the whole of my first year in school concentrating in my studies, but guess what? I still didn't get a good result. Now, the second year, I decided to do something different. I had to join departments in my church. I had to volunteer my skills, volunteer my time in church. I had to join other groups in department. And guess what? I got a better result. Now, I wouldn't say the reason why I got a better result was because I joined those departments, but I was able to build beyond what I was studying. I was able to build capacity. I was able to contribute to the success of projects. And there is this sense of fulfillment that comes when you are part of a successful project. Trust me, it's a place you want to be. It's a beautiful place you would love to be. In fact, I was so consistent in volunteering in school that I became a public figure. I became an influencer even without holding a position in school politics. I was not a king. I was not a director of this or director of that, but it got to a point where I became a kingmaker, where politicians reach out to me to get my support so I can help them influence the students to support them. This wouldn't have been possible if I was not always out there helping people achieve their goals. So trust me, there is little or no disadvantage to volunteering. So I quickly want to run down some of the advantages of volunteering because of time. Number one is volunteering gives you practical experience. Practical experience. That's number one advantage of volunteering. Please, you can drop that in the chat. Practical experience. Now, I want to use myself as an instance. I studied civil engineering. I won't mention the name of my schools So we all get into the lab and we are sitting in front of computers that are all switched off, and a lecturer is standing in front of the whiteboard writing codes on the board. Now the lecturer is writing codes on the board, and the lecturer is telling us, if you type this code and this code and this code, this is the result you're going to get. And we ask ourselves questions like, why not switch on these computers so we can see these things practically? We get to the water lab and we have all the apparatus needed, and the lecturer is telling us, if you pass water through this section, this is what you get, this is the result you get. And we are asking, why not pass this water through this place? Let us see these things happen. Now there are some other classmates who would go out there, attach themselves to an engineer, follow the engineer to the site, and they get to work. They get to see all these things we are learning in class happening practically in the field. The question is, between we who are in the classroom learning this thing theory and that man who is in the field doing practical, who do you think would learn better? Who do you think would be a better engineer? Tell me in the comment section, who do you think would be a better engineer? Now you can see that experience is gotten from the place of assignment. You gain experience in the place of assignment, and volunteering is one of those assignments you must carry out to build capacity, to get experience. So I volunteered to a point in a way that I've been privileged to also lead some teams as a volunteer. So earlier this year, before immediately I relocated to Delta State, I got a call, a job actually, a writing job, to do a rapporteuring job for the wife of the former governor of Imo State, and she was willing to pay. But unfortunately, I could not travel back to Owerri. So what did I do? I reached out to one young man who has been volunteering with me in the content team, and I told him, bro, I have a job and I want you to take up that job. And because I have worked with this guy, he has volunteered with me, I've seen him work practically, I've seen how good he is. I was confident enough to push that job to him, and he delivered. The question is, if this young man did not showcase in the place of volunteering, would I trust him with that job? And the answer is no. So while you are in school, the only way you can prove to us that you are good enough is to show us what you can do. Don't tell us, show us. And that is what volunteering gives you the opportunity to do. You gain practical experience. Number two thing you get to achieve in volunteering is what? Networking opportunities. There are lots of persons I've been privileged to connect with even while I was still in school. It was in the place of volunteering that I got a chance to connect with the school registrar. I was able to connect with our rector. I was able to connect with different directors in the school. In my final year in school, I was privileged to be given the responsibility to host a conference, Student Business Summit. And for me to successfully host that conference, I needed to enter solid offices, high offices, to gain approvals, to get partnership, to get sponsorship and all that. This wouldn't have been possible without volunteering. I was able to connect with these people them till date. Trust me, as a student, if you want to stand out in school, if you want to be respected, then you should embrace volunteering. See, let me tell you this. Volunteers are the backbone of every community. Take this down. Volunteers are the backbone of every community. See, when you see a successful event, when you see a successful conference, people get to praise the convener. People get to say, the convener is amazing. But the convener knows that his strength lies in the quality of volunteers he has. Even this conference we are having right now, for this conference to be successful, there are people behind the scene who are making things happen. They might not get the recognition, but they are building capacity in the process. Tomorrow, they might get their own vision, and the experience they've gathered while volunteering for our current convener would help them host their own conference successfully. So the networking opportunities that comes with volunteering is priceless. You can't pay for it. In my final year in school, I hosted a conference, secretary's conference, with a team in Magents. And I pulled a heavy weight to my school. All the way from Port Harcourt, I was able to pull the Dawn Emeka Nobis to Owerri. And guess what? I wouldn't have loved to say this, but I have to say it. So you see the beauty of volunteering. Before I got the Emeka Nobis to my conference, I had volunteered for lots of his conferences. I've volunteered for his virtual conferences, his physical conferences. I've been part of his book launches. I've helped him market. I've helped him publicize his works and all that. In 2022, he invited me as a panelist in Conversation with the Dawn. And after the conference, I casually approached him and I told him, sir, I need you to be in my conference later this year. And he was like, okay, no problem, chat me up on WhatsApp. And we got talking. Guess what? Emeka Nobis showed up my event without charging me a kobo. And prior to my invitation, he has received 2 different invitations from different persons in that same school to come speak. Unfortunately, they could not meet his speaking fee. Yet he waived off his fee just to honor my invitation. This wouldn't have been possible if I didn't volunteer for his own conferences. So you see, when you volunteer, you give yourself the opportunity to network with people who are at your level and people who are above you. Okay? People at your level and people who are above you. Volunteering, internship is beautiful, trust me. It is beautiful. Now, most people ask questions like, how can I discover purpose? How can I discover myself? Some persons are waiting to graduate so they can ask themselves after school, what next? Now, take this down. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the place of service. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the place of service. You discover purpose in your place of assignment. You discover purpose. Most of the people you see today and you admire them, most of them got to discover that they were good in public speaking while they were volunteering. Some of them were privileged to be given the opportunity in volunteering to speak to other volunteers, and from there they discovered that they had flair and passion for speaking, and today they are making money off it. So for you to actually do what? Build yourself or find yourself, you need to lose yourself in the place of service. You need to sacrifice yourself. You need to pour out yourself to service. You need to give your all to service. Don't be that student who will just sit in class, listen to lecturers, walk out of class, come back the next day and keep repeating the same circle. You need to explore. So I tell my students most time that the school is the best place to become. The school is the best place to start. If you are privileged to find yourself in a school, whether a university, a polytechnic, a monotechnic, any kind, you need to maximize that opportunity. And this is the reason. The school is one of the places where you get to meet the same people at different times. You don't need to pay to meet them. You don't need to maybe do anything difficult to meet them. You go to the school canteen, you see people. You go to your department, you see people. You go to different places around the school environment, you see people. You go to the garden, you see people. You go to the library, you see people. You need to pay to get people's attention. Why not start from your department? You're having departmental week, you are having a training in your department. Why not volunteer? Showcase yourself. Showcase yourself. In my department, I was able to stand tall, and whenever there's an issue, I stand up and I give opinion. I talk. I was not the course rep, yet I was commanding respect even more than the course rep, with no disrespect to him. I was getting more respect than him. I built influence and capacity because I was always there to contribute to every project we were doing. I had a voice. I utilized my skills. I was able to showcase. See, it is too late to be a nobody. It is too late to be a nobody. You can't afford to graduate from school after 4 to 5 years, and yet you cannot boast of contributing beyond your studies, anything to your school. Now, let me give you another secret. You see, when you graduate from school and you start searching for a job, and they tell you we need, let's say we need an accountant, 28 years with 5 years experience, and you begin to complain. How do they want someone that is 28 years to have 5 years of experience? Guess what? The experience they are looking for is not just you working in a corporate organization. That experience can be gathered in the place of volunteering. You volunteered for a conference and you were the team lead for content team. It's a leadership experience. It can be added to your CV. You volunteered for another conference and you were a content writer in that conference. It is an experience. All those things can be collated and added to your CV. It becomes your CV. When you say 5 years experience, you can actually get that 5 years experience in your 5 years in school. You can get that experience in that 5 years in school, but you cannot get it when you are just sitting at a spot doing nothing. You need to go out there and explore. You need to work, join groups. You need to serve. Number 3 advantage of volunteering is what? It was resume building. Resume building, just like I said now. Resume building. You are able to build your portfolio. You are able to build your portfolio. If you go to Owerri right now, I don't know if we have anybody here who is streaming from Owerri. If you go to Owerri now, I'm no longer in Owerri currently, but if you go to Owerri now and you ask for the knowledge ecosystem in Owerri, and you talk about content team, I can assure you that if they are mentioning the names of individuals who have been consistent in volunteering for content team, my name must be mentioned. I'm not talking about my school, I'm talking about the whole of Owerri. And I did not start after graduation. While I was a student, even when I held a leadership position in my church in school, I was still leaving my school. I would go to town every Saturday to join our business meetings. I would volunteer for different conferences, even as a student. Most persons saw me and they felt I was wasting my time. I was getting myself exhausted. They never knew I was building myself. And that is why even now, I am not in Owerri, but I still volunteer for conferences in Owerri. I was the assistant content team lead for the just concluded FLE conference. I was in Delta State. The conference was in Owerri. Yet I was leading from Delta State. I only attended a physical meeting once prior to the conference date. Yet they trusted my capacity to lead that team. That can only happen when they've seen your track record when it comes to volunteering. Number 4, because of time, career what? Exploration. Volunteering gives you the chance to have options of what you can finally settle for after school. Lots of you, in all sincerity, what you are currently studying in school now is not what you're going to do for life. That's the truth. What you are studying currently, and it's not a course, it's not a bad thing either. What you're currently doing now is not what you're going to do for life. Most of you will graduate and you will discover that animal scientist was never the plan. You will graduate and you discover that civil engineering is not your thing. You will graduate and you discover that microbiology is not your thing. That is just it. So where do you now get options on what you can actually do? Through volunteering. Through volunteering. So when you volunteer for different conferences, you begin to discover your passion. You begin to discover those things you can do easily. You begin to discover those skills And by the time you know the business part of that skill, you discover that it can even fetch you more than what you're studying in school now. That's another advantage of volunteering. And I'm talking to students now because you are privileged to still be in school. So you can start trying out those things now. When the expectation is not too high, you can start making those mistakes now, gain those experience now, so that when you come out, you'll be a shining star. The next one is skill development. Skill development. The school gives you an environment where you can actually develop countless skills. And volunteering is the best place. Now, let me tell you the beauty of volunteering. Nobody is expecting you to be an expert when you're volunteering. Yes, nobody is expecting you to be an expert when you are volunteering. Mastery is not the main criteria for volunteering. And that is because you are not being paid. I'm not saying you should go and deliver average jobs, but they can excuse your skill level when it comes to volunteering because they are not paying for your service. In fact, the main goal of volunteering is to learn. So when you come in as a graphic designer in volunteering, they might not really rate you. They might not rate your poor designs. Rather, they will help you improve on your designs. Yes, they will help you improve. So before you even consider monetizing most of the skills you have, you need to do what? First, serve with that skill. Offer it for free. Advocate for what? Monetization. I talk about monetization. I tell people to make money from what they know. But I will not fail to tell you that first you must offer it for free. Test your skill first. Test your capacity first before you start charging. I tell people what you can do for free, you can do for a fee. I preach it a lot. But you need to first of all validate your skill before you begin to what? Charge for it. We see lots of persons who are posing as experts today and they are collecting money from people and they are delivering poor jobs. This is a gap that would have been bridged if these persons had explored volunteering as an option. I was not so good in writing. In my early days in writing, nobody gave me a chance. Nobody was willing to hire my services. I had to catch the idea. And she needed writers to volunteer. I volunteered to write for her blog for 12 good weeks for free. I wrote for her blog for 12 good weeks for free in my early days. And each I submit an article, they'll go through the article, they'll make some corrections. By the time they upload the article, I begin to see some of the editing, some of the changes, and I learn from it. Little did I know that I was actually building capacity. Today, as I speak, I'm the team manager of one of the top blogs in Nigeria, Moneypedia.com. I'm the team manager of Moneypedia.com. I am managing a team of writers. I am managing a team of editors. Many years ago, I volunteered with this same skill. I never knew that a time will come when it will finally become a business for me. So you can see it. What the investment you make in many years can actually come back to pay you. I was not paid those 12 weeks, but today I'm paid managing a team. So that's the beauty of volunteering. Number 6, it increases your confidence. It increases your confidence. People recommend me so well now. When it comes to content creation, when it comes to content writing, graphic designing, people recommend me. But I built that capacity in the place of volunteering. I started in the school. I was volunteering. I was attaching myself to projects. I'm so crazy when it comes to volunteering. If I share most of my stories here, you'll be amazed. I love volunteering so much that I volunteered for a conference. I was actually the publicity director in that conference, among the volunteers. And the date of the conference fell on my exam day. I had 2 papers on that same day. Guess what? I almost, a night before the exam, we had an all-night meeting I was willing to attend the all-night meeting at the expense of reading my books. And even when it got to the event day, I came to the event very early. I made sure everything was okay. I went to the exam, wrote my first paper. I came back to the conference. After the first paper was over for others, I went back, wrote the second paper. I came back to the conference. That is how crazy I am when it comes to volunteering. Many persons will see me then and they will ask, what is wrong with you? But I knew what I was looking for. I was building capacity. So today, people trust me with projects. Before I left school, I already knew that I was not going to look for a job. I already knew that. It will surprise you to know that I after leaving school, I had to intern for a company for 1 complete year without expecting a salary. 1 complete year. And today I'm still working with the company as a full-time staff. Same company. I gained experience within that period of 1 year. And I'm given responsibilities now with so much trust because I've shown what capacity, I've shown consistency in learning, I've shown improvement, I've shown maturity. Only volunteering can assure you that. Only volunteering can do what? Assure you that. So you don't need to joke with volunteering. See, you don't have to be great. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Does it make sense? You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Some person might be saying, but I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. How do I start? That is why volunteering is there. You don't need to be great to start, but for you to be great tomorrow, you need to start now. Start volunteering your service. Start volunteering with your skills. Try new things. In the last concluded conference, the just concluded conference, FLE conference, I was privileged to be the team lead and I was assigning roles to other writers, telling them different things they were going to do. I noticed that some of them were scared. They were afraid because that was their first time of volunteering. Some of them, it was their first time of volunteering in the content team. Some of them were not familiar with the roles they were given. I only did one thing. I told them, don't be scared. If you have any challenge at any point, reach out to me and I'll help you. I'm here to guide you. And guess what? I helped them. At the end of the day, they came back to appreciate me. They were thanking me for helping them. They were thanking me for giving them that motivation. So you don't need to be great to start. You just need to start so you can become great. The world celebrates those who have the result they are looking for. Okay? And trust me, if you forget everything I've said so far, I want you to understand that volunteering is what? A give and take. While you are giving, you are also getting. Now, this might not be a financial reward. Your own reward might not come immediately. Please, don't join the league of people who would say, if you are not paying me, I'm not going to volunteer. Especially if you are still a student, especially if you are still hoping to learn. It's good to get paid for your skills, but please don't join the group of persons that will insist that unless they are paid, they are not going to volunteer. Sometimes the conveners, the visionaries, they have the capacity, they have the finance, they have all it takes to pay you, but they want to give you a platform to grow. They want to give you a platform to grow. So please don't allow greed. Don't allow the words of people to push you to always put money in front, especially when you are still trying to build capacity. If you're in school, explore volunteering. Explore volunteering. It will go a long way to help you. Yes, it will help you so well. I have lots of stories to share, personal stories. This particular topic resonates with me so much because I have done this all my life. I've been able to stay consistent and relevant in the online space because you see me in every project. You see me in every meaningful project. But I wouldn't fail to add this. You need to what? Draw a thin line. You need to know when to volunteer and when to not volunteer. It's very necessary. Because some students will now jump out there and say, he said we should volunteer. And then you begin to join every group, both relevant and irrelevant ones. You begin to spend all your time attending conferences, volunteering. No, you need to make sure you balance things up. Even as a student then, I was always, okay, so I'll be wrapping up soon. I was always conscious of when to volunteer and when not to volunteer. Don't do anything that will affect your studies. So while I was volunteering in school, I was missing classes. Sincerely, I was. But what I did was that immediately I missed a class, I spent more time. I deny myself sleep to read the notes, copy the note, and read what they learned that day. That's the truth. So make sure you balance things up as a student. Make sure you balance things up. Volunteering in school helps you gain experience. It helps you gain mastery. It helps you build capacity. It helps you gain recognition. And all these things will come together to help you after school. Don't say, I will start when I leave school. Trust me, it will be more difficult. Because at that point, what you'll be thinking of is how to make money. And you will not be able to do anything for free. Build that capacity in school so that when you are out, you'll be able to start doing great things. And by then, you must have made name for yourself. Thank you so much for having me tonight. I'm so happy. I'm so honored to be here. And I hope you got value from this section.
So much value. Thank you so much, Mr. Solomon. It was such an insightful session. I mean, I wish I can. It's not I wish I can show you. See my jottings. A whole lot. It was really a very insightful session, and we're so grateful. I know that we want to ask questions. I told you people to join in on time since you people did not join in. I know you want to ask questions. So like we did with Ruth yesterday, what we're going to do, but before I even say that, I need to let you guys know that our first, like, quote and unquote, the first speaker for day 2 is already in the studio, and we're bringing him up any time from now. You guys don't want to miss any of this session. You saw Solomon's session. I mean, I told you guys, I said yesterday was fire. Today, there's fire and thunder inside the room. Tomorrow is going to be plus brimstone. You guys, you're up for something you really have no idea about. You have no idea about. After yesterday's session, some people sent me a message that, oh, thank you so much, ma. If we're going to pay for these, if we're going to have access to these people, we know, we have an idea of what it will cost. And I had to reply to you and say, you don't have an idea of what it will cost because you've not tried reaching out to them before. I mean, to bring these people, to have them, it is not beans. So, Mr. Solomon, I know that they have questions, but what we're going to do, because of time, like I said, our other speaker is already in the studio. We're just going to curate their question. If you don't mind, if it is okay, we have a community, the Beyond Schooling Conference community, right? After the conference, we're going to put the do's and don'ts of the community up, and then we'd like to invite you, Mr. Solomon, if you can still hear me, to the community to answer some of the questions that they would have centered around volunteering. I don't know if that works for you. And I will reach out to you again after. The moderator, please, can you put myself and Mr. Solomon on the screen together? Thank you. So, Mr. Solomon, I don't know if does that work for you? Does that work for you?
Yeah, no problem. No problem. That's cool.
Wow. Thank you so much. We're so grateful. Thank you so much. So before we bring up our second speaker, guys, I want to see you appreciate Mr. Solomon in the chat. Use your favorite emoji. You know, I would always do that. Use your Vetra emoji, Vetra appreciation. Let's see the chat beaming with energy. If you know the session was worth it, let me see you say thank you to Mr. Solomon using an emoji. Put it in words, but let me see emojis in the chat room. Oh yeah, we're looking. Yes, thank you, Kendra. Thank you. Okay, Mr. Solomon, I don't know if you can see these. These are all for you. Saying thank you. Saying thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Solomon. It was nice having you with us for this session. Thank you very, very much. So before we bring up our second speaker, which technically is our first speaker for today, let's take a break. Let's just quickly play the loop. And I'm going to read. Yesterday, you saw bio. You were like, yeah, bio. You will hear bio today, right? So let's take a break. Let's take a quick 30 seconds break. The loop is just going to play, and then I'll be back to introduce our first speaker for today. If you are here, people say you were going to invite your friends and enemy yesterday. Go and invite them. You don't want to miss the session with Dr. Eddie. You don't want to miss that session. Go to the chat. Go and tell everybody to come now. You guys don't want to miss the session with him. When you hear bio, when you know who he is, you will understand. So our moderator, please can we go on a break now? Can we have the loop before I come back? Okay. Yes, we are set. It feels like it's now we are beginning day 2, right? So no, Dr. Eddie, I'm going to read your bio. You can't do that to us. Hey God. See, Dr. Eddie is trying to be so humble. He's trying to be so humble, but me, I don't go agree because all right, so let me read a brief of Dr. Eddie's bio. I know you will be wondering, why don't we have a recorded version of Dr. Eddie's bio? Dr. Eddie did not want us to read bio, but Omo, I found something. So I'm just going to do a brief of Dr. Eddie's bio. Please just listen carefully, right? Dr. Eddie is a dedicated trauma surgery researcher and public health advocate with over 7 years of experience in advancing healthcare through trauma care innovations and community-centered initiatives. He is the founder and executive director of Lifesavers NG. He has led training programs for over 3,900 individuals in basic first aid, addressing critical gaps in Nigeria pre-hospital care system. In his role as a medical doctor, he has successfully implemented trauma care protocols that significantly improved patients' outcome. His research focuses on leveraging artificial intelligence for trauma triage, advancing public health policy, and enhancing access to emergency service in low-income countries. Hear this part. In addition, he has a proven track record of having raised over $11,000 in grants for community health projects and providing grant-winning training to over 5 nonprofits. These efforts have collectively secured more than $50,000 to improve health outcomes in Nigeria demonstrating his ability to manage resources effectively and make a significant impact in the healthcare sector. Now, Dr. Eddie is currently a practicing trauma surgery medical officer, right? He's not just the executive director of Lifesavers NG. Dr. Eddie is an alumni of AVF, alumni of the Venture Fund, where he was a winner. And this fellowship is in New York. He's a fellow of the Alumni Ventures Fund, right? He's a fellow of the Platform Young Professional. He's a fellow of the Leading Change Institute, Kansas University, USA. Now, the Alumni Venture Fund is in New York, USA. He's an alumnus of the Global Youth Advancement in Michigan. He's an alumni of Yali, Accra, Ghana. He's a participant of Massachusetts Institute of Technology, USA. He was a chief editor for the Federation of Ex-Student Association, FECA. Ladies and gentlemen, he did all of this. This is an abridged bio. He did all of this as a medical student of University of Benin. And all of those fellowships I talked about just now, he did not do them from Nigeria. He traveled to those countries at different times, all sponsored. So you want to hear this kind of a person when he's coming to you to talk about how to position yourself, how to build a professional brand, even as a student. And yeah, the bio is bioing, but this is not even a complete bio. This is an abridged bio that I'm just adding together, cutting and piecing together from the knowledge that I have of who he is. I just remembered another one now. So when you guys are putting in applications for fellowship and all of that, Dr. Eddie is one of those people that goes through your bio, right? To know whether it will fly or not. So ladies and gentlemen, if your virtual hands are not too heavy, let me see you welcome Dr. Eddie in the chat room. If I don't have enough energy, he's not coming up. This one I will start to make shakara. If I don't have enough energy in the chat, he is not coming up. So let me see.
Hi everyone, good day, and I hope first I sincerely want to thank the organizers. Thank you so much, Esoe, for the invitation to come facilitate this session this evening. How do I know if people can hear me loud and clear now? So how do I get to know that now? Okay, I'm just trying to see how do I know if people can hear me loud and clear? All right, okay, so okay, please, okay, we can hear you. All right, okay, that's fine. Thank you so much, Esoe, for the invitation to come and to facilitate this session today. I deeply appreciate and okay, Betty, thank you so much. I could see that. Thank you for the invitation to come and facilitate this session today. I deeply appreciate. My name is Eddie Oge. I am a medical doctor. I work back home in Benin City, Nigeria, as a trauma medical officer here in Benin. Aside that, I also run a travel business. And aside my travel business, so I think I do a lot of things. Yeah, I do quite a lot of things. So I've been asked to come and speak to us today on a very important, on a topic that I really find very interesting. It's titled Personal Branding, Crafting Your Professional Identity While You Are Still in School. I spent time listening to what the former speaker spoke. That's Solomon. And one thing he said the school, being in the university, is a very good platform. Is a platform for you to develop as many skills as possible, because in university you have access to almost everything you need for free. If you are in the university, let's assume you are residing on campus, you have access to light, you are not paying heavily for it. You have access to security, your university is secure. Okay, well, to an extent, your university is secure, so you have access to security and all those many other stuff. So I get into, unlike when you have graduated, you are now on your own, then you pay for light bill, you pay for security vigilante, you literally pay for almost everything. So most times when people ask me to come speak on this topic like this, I just like starting from my story and then we'll just drop one or two things. When I was in secondary school, I was a very, very intelligent guy when I was in secondary school. This never me trying to play to play, what's it called, to water them. I was very, very smart guy, intelligent when I was in secondary school. So I think right from primary school, I'm very intelligent. So, you know, those growing up, you're taking first. So when I got to senior secondary school, and at that point, I didn't know what I wanted to do. If I left from, I wanted to be a journalist because I could write. I loved writing. Anything that has to do with writing, like crafting stories and everything. I loved it to a large extent. But for my secondary school, they didn't do career talk for us. And I think that was the period in Nigeria where there was this whole drive of, oh, if you want to have, if you know you want job security post graduation, you either have to study medicine, or you study law, or you study engineering. And I loved writing, and for me to write, I have to go and do mass communication. And mass communication was not even part of the courses that they said could give you job security post that could give you job security post graduation. So I'm like, okay, so what do I basically have to do? And I also loved physics too, so I was so good with physics. But so I said, okay, let me go and do medicine. And since I'm very smart, since I'm intelligent, so let me prove to people that, yeah, I'm very, very intelligent. So that's how I found myself in medical school. 100 level in medical school, we had a very long 6 month strike. I think that's the longest ASU, not the longest though, but I think that's like the second longest ASU strike in the history of Nigeria, from what people say. We had a 6 month ASU strike, and I was very tired. So that was in medical school, 100 level. I was like, what's happening? Like, I've not done a whole lot of things. I'm just going to class and no. And I was not able to express myself in my writing. So I reached out to the Nation newspaper, like, oh, my name is Eddie. I'm a medical student. This is what I do. I would like to volunteer with your newspaper to be writing as a journalist. Like, okay, that's fine. You can come on board to come and write. And I started writing for them. I wasn't being paid. So I think that will bring us to one of our lessons today. When you are doing things at the formative stage, money should not be your big deal. You know, I know you need money to survive, but first of all, leave it by the side. So I was writing for newspaper, helping them with, like, sometimes when on campus, like, let's assume the university is having a convocation, I will go, I will snap pictures, I'll snap picture, make a write-up about it, send to the newspaper, and to publish in the university in a very good light. As I then at a point I was even reporting for close to 10, 8 to 10 newspaper then. And most of this is I was even being paid for them. And it actually gave me a lot of popularity on campus. Then, if SCG is having events, they are looking for me. If the university is having events, oh, the public relations office is okay. Okay, let's get this boy to be part of the team. So it gave me a lot of leverage. Like, I was known. I was just known beyond medical school in the University of Benin and almost other medical schools across the country. And that was something I was that was something I was very, very happy about. So from writing for those papers, I had the opportunity to attend one or two many programs outside the countries, in US, in and many other countries, and it gave me a lot of leverage. And traveling, when I was in medical school, I was able to make a lot of trips to many countries. And today, now, what I do is that the passion I have for traveling, the love I have for traveling, I currently run a travel and education consulting agency where we help people achieve their goal of maybe migrating out of the country legally, for study, for vacation, for tourism, and for every other thing. So that brings me to many of the thoughts. So that brings me to some of my points today. So first of all, one thing you need to understand as young persons that are still in school is the fact that you need to build a personal brand. The world is very noisy. When I say the world is very noisy, if you come on social media, if you come on Facebook, you can literally spend 24 hours on Facebook scrolling, because I think the way especially Instagram is these days, that you can scroll from the beginning of the first post. You will never get to the end of the post on Instagram in a 24 hours period. It's not possible. So that goes to show that the world is very noisy. So everybody is bringing, so a lot of content and a lot of information is going on in the social media. So everybody is busy. People are trying, okay, what's happening here? Oh, let me check Instagram. Whenever I come Instagram, let me check Instagram blog and see what's happening. What's the latest thing happening in Nigeria? From Instablog, oh, let me check. Before you know, you just check it. You just check almost. You just spend the whole day checking as many things as possible. So the world is very noisy, and because the world is very noisy, you need to have a brand that people will know you for. And then someone may ask me a question, okay, so what then is branding? So basically, branding means the way you present yourself. It's a unique way of presenting yourself to the world, showcasing your skills, your values, and your contribution. You know why? Because you need to make a lasting impact. I told you when I was a student, I was writing for the paper because I knew that since I could write, let me showcase this skill, let me showcase this value. Since I could write, let me showcase this skill, let me showcase these values that I can contribute, and let me see so that I can create a lasting impact. So that's basically what branding is all about. So it's not really a big thing. Branding just means how will the world perceive you? Oh, I'm a doctor. What kind of doctor am I? Oh, Esora is a works in the whatever field she works in. Okay, so it just basically has to do with how you present yourself to the world. So basically, that's what brand is all about. And so having said that, I haven't defined that. So one thing I encourage people to build a personal brand about, and for you to build a brand, one thing you must have at the back of your mind is that you need to take stock of the skills that you have. That's one thing you must take stock. What are the skills that you currently have? I get it. Someone like me, I won't go and be building a brand in maybe in thought leadership in French. I cannot speak French. I get it. So it doesn't really work. What skill do you have? It could be as simple as you have that skill of being able to help people organize things, or as simple as a skill of you can be a graphics designer, or you are very vast when it comes. I have a friend when it comes to teaching the word of God. This guy is vast, like he's good. Sometimes when he's teaching, I'll just have to put that mega. You get this. How do you get this revelation? And so he has been able to build a very good brand on in that area. I get it. So you must take stock of the skills that you have, and those skills is what you now use to create value, that you use to create a lasting impact for people. I get it. So that's basically one of the depths. So that's basically, so what will branding do for you? First, it will help you build visibility. And like I said, the world is very noisy, so you need people to see what you do and at least create a lasting impression in them. I get it, because the world is very, you come on Facebook and you can scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll. You just keep scrolling. 24 hours, you have not done. You have not even gotten to the end of Facebook, to the end of Facebook news feed. I get it. So you need to create. You need to also, it just will build visibility for your work. It also helps you create opportunities. So it's also it's just branding. It's also an avenue for you to create opportunities for not just yourself, but for other people too. I told you guys that when I was a student, I used to write for the newspaper and I used to volunteer for NGOs. We used to do lots of medical outreach. As a medical student, of course, you're entitled, you're supposed to even join the medical school association to always go for free medical outreach and all of them. And with that, it was able to, I'm coming, we'll talk on those things. So it gives me, it was an opportunity for me to create value, like in the sense that when I was a medical student, of course, as a medical student, I have to volunteer for the medical school outreach. Like, though it's not compulsory, but it's also a very good avenue for you to build your skills. So I was always volunteering for them. And then when it was time for me to apply for the yearly program, that was some of the things I put in my statement, so in my essays, that, oh, I'm a medical student, or in as much as I write, and these are the things I've been able to do and achieve through my write-ups. I also volunteer with my medical school student association, and these are the number of outreaches we've been able to go for. And they selected me for the yearly program, which was a fully funded, I think that was, yeah, it was 5 weeks program, fully funded, all expense paid. Myself and my colleague that attended the program, Dr. Marietta, were like, she was in final year then. I think I was in 400 level there. I think I was in 400 level there. So we were medical students, we were selected for the program. So that's one thing that branding does for you. So you must build a niche for yourself. I get it. Also, other thing it does so for you, it also makes you stand out. It makes you stand out. So I run a travel business. I've been able to run a travel and educational business. And the people that come to meet me like, oh, like, Eddie, I want you to help me process this study abroad for they say this is my brother or my sister. Like, but you can actually do this thing on yourself. Why not just go and do it on yourself? Or why not go and meet other people like, I trust you. That's one thing branding does for you. There are some people that I've never met, but you just trust, like you literally just trust them. This person, he has been putting this content online now, so automatically you just have that trust for them. So that's also one thing that branding does for you as a young person. So having talked about my story as a medical student, I was not just going to class. I was also making that I was building a brand for myself to start my career when I graduate. Then let's go. So having done that, you must find, like I said, you must take stock of the skills that you have. There are various niche. Are you going to be volunteering for an organization in the health field? Are you going to be doing the political space? It can also even be in the religious sector, and any sector at all. Find a sector and fit into it. And it's not compulsory that the sector must be in line with what you are studying in school. As a medical student, studying to become a medical doctor. But when it comes to volunteering, when it comes to building leadership, like social impact and all, you will find media. I think when I was a medical student there, you cannot mention the first 2 persons in social impact at University of Benin, you don't mention my name. It's not even possible. It's like, it's not me bragging. It was just natural, because beyond the fact that I was doing it, I was also ensuring that I was also growing up other leaders while doing all those kind of things. So that's one thing you must also get to do. And then another thing I also encourage us to do as young persons, that you must leverage opportunities. See this one, I think this is where maybe most of the talk today will center on. See, the world has gone global. You must not be a local champion in anything you are doing. Whatsoever you are doing in Nigeria, somebody is also doing it in Ghana, somebody is also doing it in Kenya, somebody is also doing it somewhere else. I get it. So you must learn to leverage opportunities. I get it, because see, sometimes I sit down and I tell people that if not for most of the trips, opportunities I was able to access and travel to the country many times as a student and even now as a doctor, I wouldn't have been able to start my travel business, because people will not trust me now. So that people just trust me. Okay, let Dr. Eddie help me process this visa to UK, sorry, to US. The trust is that it's not like he will do it now. He has been there, he has gone many times, has been able to help many people, so he should be able to do so. That trust just comes from this. So you must leverage opportunities. And how do you leverage opportunities? One, you must learn to volunteer. I think that's what the first person has said. So I'm not going to waste so much time on them. You must learn to volunteer. Look for organizations in your niche. Let's assume you are studying law, but you are very passionate about anything that should be maybe maternal health, or let's say youth leadership. Look for organizations. On campus, there's JCI University of Benin. There's a Enactus. There's what's the name of this other one? There's Rotary. Yeah, there's Rotary, there's JCI, there's Enactus, and there are many other student organizations spread across your universities. Look for them, volunteer with them. Those skills that you have gotten from them, that's what you use. Because when you're applying for most of these opportunities, one question they will always ask you is, tell us about your leadership experience. And when they ask you that question, tell us about your leadership experience, they are literally not asking you to start mentioning, oh, I served as president of this organization so and so year to so and so year. I served in this role so and so year to so and so year. I served this. No. They're trying to ask you, okay, this you were. Let's assume you were, let me say, president of JCI at, let's say, ABC University. When they're asking you, tell us about your leadership experience, they're literally asking you to start telling them, when you were president, what did you do? Because start mentioning things like, oh, as president of the organization, we had a membership. When I resumed office, there's a membership strength of 50. Through initiatives, I made sure that I created initiatives. You can measure those initiatives that you created, and they were able to increase membership strength from 50 when we started to 70. That's an experience already, and that's the kind of leadership experience that everybody's looking out for. And how do you get access to most of these opportunities? One thing I always encourage us, as a young, see, when I was a medical student, there's this website, opportunitydex.org. Again, www.opportunitydex.org. Maybe somebody can type it in the comment section there. Please, as a student, the way you bookmark Facebook and the way you have WhatsApp in your phone, please, that's one website that every young person passionate about building a brand for themselves you have to bookmark. As a student, I bookmarked it. I think it was after I graduated, I didn't bookmark it again, because okay, since I'm now transitioning to new roles, new careers, and these are kind of opportunities I need to access. So you must check. These are websites you must have access to those websites. They're getting it. So bookmark websites, opportunitydex.org. Always go on those platforms. There are many others, but opportunitydex is like the number one. So that's why I always mention it every time, every year I go. So bookmark those platforms, go on them, look at the opportunities. One thing many of us do is that you feel like, they will not select me now. How would they select me when they say they're selecting 80 persons across the world? How am I sure I'll be selected? Like I always tell you, see, you miss 100% of the chances you do not take. I know you've heard of it before, and that's actually very true. If I had not applied for a yearly program then when I was a student, how would I have known that I would have been selected? These days, I look at the application I submitted for some of the opportunities years back, and I see that like, Jesus. So immediately people selected me this kind of essay that I wrote. Because the kind of essays that I see that people write these days or more, the competition has gotten is not high. So you just never can tell. The person reviewing the application might just be somewhere that will just, okay, I think I like what this person has said. Let me give this person a chance. There's a program I attended in the United States. I won't mention the name for some, but I need to keep some secrets properly. So I attended this program in the United States, and this year, every year, I review applications for people that they send every year to apply. Like when people apply for that program, it goes every year in the United States. Yeah. So, and every year I help them review applications, I score applications for people that have applied for the program, literally score applications, stage 1, go through all the stage up to the interview stage. And whenever I'm reviewing applications, I literally see essays that people write. I'm always impressed, like, wow, this is very, very amazing. There are some essays that I will see, like, this person did not write well, but you can actually tell from the way this person wrote that this is someone that's very, very passionate about this kind of concept he or she wants to implement. So that's one thing you must learn to do as young persons. Apply for the opportunity. The person reviewing the application might just be somebody that just like it. There are some essays I've read them. I'm like, well, okay, recommendation letters do not fit format. Okay, when I'm going through the application, this recommendation letters, this second one does not meet the requirements, but this person really wrote this essay very well. Okay, nevertheless, forget about recommendation letters. Let's at least, that can always be sorted out. Let's give this person a chance. And then before you know, this person say, they've been selected for this kind of program. So that's one thing you must learn to do. You must not cut yourself out of it. I bet they might not select me, Jerry. Everything too. Apply for those opportunities. And the thing I always tell people is that it's a game of numbers. It's a game of numbers. That you won't just apply for one and then it's okay, that one will come out through. You might just be surprised that it's the 10th application that you just be successful at. The opportunities I've applied for over time, over again, and I've never been selected. I think there's even one. This year, I just said, I beg, I'm not interested. I don't have strength. I get it. So it's a game. It's actually a game of numbers. So that's why one thing. That's one reason why, as young persons, you must also learn to apply for opportunities. There are a lot of opportunities. Go on opportunity devs.org. And that you can even go on my LinkedIn page, see some of those opportunities that I've applied for, I've gotten. You can go and bookmark their website and start following them up and see how where you can apply for them. That's also one thing I'm also going to tell you. So while also doing this as young persons, another thing I'm also going to tell you is this: you must also learn to, while you are volunteering, you can also learn to build a brand. And that way to also build a brand and prepare for these opportunities is the fact that you can also decide to even develop what called thought leadership. Yeah, many of us at least know about thought leadership. I think one of the speakers should be talking about that some in one of the sessions. So you must also learn to build thought leadership. Again, you can build thought leadership in that field. That can also be your form of leadership experience. You can also decide to start up a business in that field. Who told you you cannot go, you cannot travel abroad? You cannot travel abroad by selling, by having a business. It must not be a very big business that, 100 persons are patronizing. You can just be as simple as a small business. I know those that apply for the Mandela Washington Fellowship, there's a track where they do business and entrepreneurship. Like it in too. Who told you you can? Like sometimes the issue many of us have as young persons, the fact that we just feel, what will people say about it now? Now that I'm not doing this one, how people feel like you are you've traveled, you're not selling, let's say, you are selling cooking utensils on WhatsApp. AOU that is a first class, that's on a first class GPA. See, as long as the person is not going to give you money to feed yourself, to feed you, whatsoever they say is of no use. It does not matter. It doesn't matter. Now, when I was a student, then I started my travel business as a student. Then I feel like, after traveling abroad, he's just doing, he's just helping people book flights. How much is he even making? Himself? Me, you know one thing about me? There's something that I have that I hold. In fact, in my room, on the wall, I wrote it. Like I printed it, and it goes like that's one personal. That's one what's it called? That's one quote that I hold very dear to my heart. Whenever you're about to embark on a journey, on no account must you take advice from somebody that have not left home. In that, let's assume I want to travel from Benin to Lagos. I won't be asking somebody that has never traveled from Benin to Lagos and that's okay. If I'm going to Lagos, what's the first thing I need to do when I get to Lagos? How do I survive Lagos? They don't have anything. You know what? Most of those persons that have not left home, it was fear that made them never do most of those things they actually really wanted to do. So therefore, why should I go and take advice? So that's one principle that I've employed in my life. You will never hear me mention one or two. If I want to do anything, you will never hear me mention it to you. Once I know that you have not done it before, it's of no business. You will never hear me mention it before. You can discuss many things. But people that have left home means people that have done things in that space. I'll go and meet them. Okay, I want to do this. What do you think is the best way to do? There was a career decision I needed to take. I think that was in 2022 thereabouts. Yeah, 2023. Yeah, late 2023. Yeah, I need to take a career decision late 2023. And then I think I went to meet somebody like, sir, this is what I think I need to do. What do you think about it? Like the way he ran down that, no, it will not work. This just mentioned me. I said, okay, no, voila, thank you, sir. Like I went home, I wouldn't say I was depressed. Like I went home sad. I think that's the right word. I wouldn't say depressed because as medical doctors, we don't use that word depressed. Because many Nigerians you're actually sad. We say you're depressed. So I went home, I was very sad. Like, if I had known, I wouldn't have even asked this person that thing. So I confided on that person. Okay, these are the things I think I want to. This is a career decision I want to take. He gave me advice. You know what? This same path I want to tread. This person has tread this path before, and he gave me advice, and I kickstarted it. And that's how it works as young person, which is some of the things you must also get to do. So, okay. So yeah, having done that, another thing you must also learn to do too. Okay, you can also start up a business too. I get like I mentioned too. And like I advise you, the best place to start business is on campus. So, see, start business on campus because you know what, your classmates will be your first client. And even your classmates and those on campus will be your first client because by the time they build trust with them, whether you're starting a business or anything you are doing, whether you're running an NGO, you are doing thought leadership, your classmates or your colleagues on campus, when they are your first clients and they trust you, trust me, you will scale. You will literally scale. Some of the persons that were in the formative stage of my business, our travel business that helped me like that were my clients. Then they were my colleagues. They were definitely not medical students, obviously, but my colleagues that at least we've done many one or two things together. So as young persons, I always advise you, please, anything you want to start it on campus. There's no, when you graduate, the pressure will be on you. As a guy, when you graduate, the pressure from family is on you that, okay, go and do this, you need to do this, you need to leave the country, you need to go. Like, there's just so many pressure. Even as a lady too, you know the pressures that ladies face too. Yeah, now that you have graduated, first you can't come home and go and sit in your father's house. Although this is the same place you stay in their parents' house because house rent is very expensive. So I get it. So anything you need to do, the campus is the best place for you to go and experiment. If you need to fail. When I started my business, when I started applying for opportunities to travel and all, like I made literally many mistakes. Like then I could never even edit a Microsoft Office document. Like when they bring a form and the form is in MS Word, I don't even know that, oh, I can convert MS Word so I can convert a PDF to Word and then edit and type inside that Word. I'll go and print out the PDF, and now use Barrow to fill the form and then upload on the portal. God, I made so that when I go through my folder, but I'm happy, like, wow, I actually learned from the whole process, and over time I learned. So any mistake you need to make it on campus. Like if as a graduate now, I'm telling you that, oh, I cannot convert, I don't know that you can convert a PDF to MS Word and then fill a form in MS Word and then upload back to the portal. Like you be like, something's wrong with you. But when I did it many years back, as far back as let's say I think I was 20, let's say 2015 or so, thereabout, 2015, 2016, thereabout. It's understandable, like, oh, it was not my fault. But now as a graduate, if I make that kind of mistake, if I don't even call me, so those are some of the things you must also get to do as young persons too. And also another thing I also need to also teach us too, please, as young persons on campus, we're trying to build a personal brand. If you try to also develop what we call 21st century skills, these things will set you apart. Don't just say, oh, I'm studying law, I don't need to know how to do right research. See, you have shot yourself in the leg. People that are gaining opportunities, people that are scaling their business, they're able to infuse research. I get into research into the work that they do. If you're able to infuse research into the work that you do, trust me, you will scale, and you scale very, very, very fast. So one thing also encourage many, as I say medical, so one thing also encourage us as students these days, or as young persons, is please, by all means, try to get research skills. See, you necessarily the Nigerian medical. Sorry, why am I saying Nigerian medical school? Okay, well, basically, I'm a doctor. So yeah, the Nigerian medical system. I say our medical school. One of the bad things it does for us is that you have to wait till when you get to final year before you start doing research. And I think that's almost the same thing in almost all the faculties across universities. But see, that's the worst thing that our school. In fact, that's one way our school is killing many of us. When you're at 100 level, like I told you, like these days, they say YouTube is a free university. On YouTube, go and learn research skills, learn how to write a literature review. And people, do you know that people help people write, carry out people's research project, and they get paid for it. And so when people say, there's no money in it, I understand that there's no money in it. The question is, do you even have a skill? Nobody will give you free money. See, today, nobody will give me free money. I have to go to the hospital, perform whatever I need to do, take care of my patient, come back home at the end of the month, they pay me my salary. So nobody will come and say, okay, you're a doctor, let's give you free money, sleep in your bedroom. It will never happen. So that will say there's no money in Nigeria. Understand, things are more difficult in Nigeria these days than it was before. Because of this whole exchange rate, inflation, and I perfectly understand. But nevertheless, you must also get to upskill yourself. I think you upskill yourself, whatever skill you have got, you can now start monetizing it. When I was in school, I used to apply for opportunities to travel abroad and to go for conference trainings and all the rest. As a student, I used to write CV, a statement of purpose for people, and I used to do it for free because I think, let me build my skills now. Until one day I wrote for one doctor. He was a doctor based in the UK. He was applying for a master's program, and in fact, the point that the guy was my namesake. So he just mentioned, somebody told me that you can write a statement about. Yes, sir. Yeah, no, I'll bring it. He sent me the requirement. I wrote a statement of purpose for him, having drafted everything, and the guy was so impressed. Was like, this is so nice. Was like, how much is your fee? Like, yeah, my namesake, you're a doctor too like me. I might need your help someday. So don't worry about it. I just did it because out of passion, because I loved writing. He said, no, I can't I won't let this slide. I think the man sent me 30,000 then. 30,000 as a student as far back as 2015 thereabout. So 30,000 then as far back as 2015. How much? That was big. See, that was big money for a student then. It was actually big. I'm like, wow, so people can actually pay me for this thing. Oh yeah, no problem now. So when I started giving charges for most of the things I do, okay, you want me to do your CV. And these days, if you give me work on those CV, SOP, I won't even write because I've been able to train. That's another point I also want to bring. When you are getting these skills, please, and you are scaling, by all means, try to also grow leaders along the line. Try to also train people so that knowledge does not, so this knowledge that you are getting will not just die with you alone. That's where many of us make the mistake. Is that so I think there's this thing they say about I might not, let me not just go there. I might not be correct. Yeah, I stand to be corrected. So let me not just go there. So don't let knowledge die with you. the fact that, oh, you can do this, you not just make sure that you are doing this, you not be a god in that field. And being a god in that field, you are not teaching other people that are enthusiastic to learn. At the end of the day, when you finally exit the scene, or when you can no longer do those things again, because you have not grown people, you even have people to run back to. So these days, if people give me a job like, oh, Eddie, somebody, I need to apply to a school in the UK or in the US or whatever. So I need the entire application draft, SOP, statement of purpose, the commission letter, everything. Because I need it drafted. And I'm okay. I'm too busy. I don't have time to sit down to be doing those things. I'll just commission one of my friends that at least I know that I've been able to teach these skills. Once they do it, most times they're like, Dr. Eddie, oh, I did this job for XYZ amount of money. You made this referral, take so and so amount of money for your weekend. So I get into overall when you are getting these skills, that's one thing I was always doing then as a student. As I knew that okay, I could apply for opportunities, I could access opportunities, I could access grants and all. So I was always making sure that I was teaching people that were enthusiastic to learn. And I think close to 4 NGOs that have been able to teach how to write grant. One was able to access almost $50,000. I get it like this was okay. I said, okay, this is like access grant. I was able to when I was a student there, I think there was a program I applied for. They give me a grant of I think $4,800. They're like, okay, go and use it to help us do this project back home in Nigeria. I took it, I did the project. There was a leftover from the grant, sent it back to them, like, okay, we could not finish this money. This is how much is left. This and how can I refund? They sent me an account, I refunded their money. And that's what he must also be somebody that people can trust. 2 years later, it wasn't up to, let's say 2 years later, they sent me a mail that, oh, Dr. Eddie, we see have XYZ amount of funds. Do you think you'll be interested in accessing more grants to do more projects? Like, okay, that's fine. I just went to my room that I sat down with my friend. I'm like, okay, so this people said they want to give us money. So how much do you think we can actually, we can request for? So do so and so project. My friend, okay, let's do 7,000. 7,000 is too much now. We cannot finish it. So what are we doing for 7,000? Okay, let's do 6,000. Well, I applied for about 6,000 thereabout. Then they gave us, okay, take, and we use it to do the project, send them their project report. Like, so these are some of the things you must also learn to do as young persons. And then there's leftover. And if there's any leftover, you send it back to them. You account for them. People want to see that. See, there's money. There's money to be given to you to do your project. People know that there's money. So the thing is, they need to see your track record. That's why the first speaker, if I talk so much on volunteer, that's why I don't even need to mention anything. I just hope I'm not overshooting my time. So you can just message me whenever I'm overshooting my time. So another thing you must also learn to do as young persons, you must also invest in skill development. You must develop yourself. See, have a skill. And when we talk about skill, I'm not just mentioning about how to make soap and all the rest. I know those ones are also very fun. They are fantastic skill. Like I think on Facebook, there's this Facebook friend I have. I can't remember his name now. And he teaches, he studies French. No, I think he studied foreign language. I think from some one of these schools in either Calabar or Uyo, one of those two schools. I've forgotten his name now. And he has an academy and he teaches people how to speak French, how to speak like different languages. And one of my goals for 2025 is to learn how to speak French fluently. And in fact, that's like my second quarter I'll go for next year. Like, second quarter of next year, beginning from April. I just want to take a 3 month course to learn how to speak French. I've not met him once, but I'm going to give him my money. I'm going to invest money in his, no matter how much he asks me to pay. But reason because I've seen the way he has built a brand. Like he's teaching people how to speak French, how to speak German, and different language. Like I want French, either French or Spanish, but I'm more tinted towards learning. I think I'm more enthusiastic about learning French than I think Spanish. I get it. So that's also one skill that you must also learn to invest. So you must also learn to invest in skill development. Oh, as a doctor tomorrow, you never can tell. I can have a patient that is not fluent in English. And of course, if you work in the north, you have patient that can only speak the language in the north. So you now say, okay, because a patient can only speak this language, there's no interpreter. What will you now do in a case of emergency? What will I do tomorrow when I have a patient that the only thing they understand is French? Doctor, this place is paining me, saying it in French. I don't understand that person is talking about pain. It's okay. I don't know what this person is talking about. Go and do whatever you're not supposed to do. I get into. You must also learn to invest in skill development. Take up courses. Take courses. YouTube is the easiest way to learn anything you want to learn in this world. Data analysis skills. Well, as a student, you not be for school. You don't know how to analyze data with Excel. See, you have not done anything. Forget, it's not about signing FYB on your shirt and it's all those things they used to do. See, go and learn skill. I get it. There are jobs waiting there. You go and learn skill. Focus on skills. And one way you can also learn those skills, you can also volunteer. I've said that one before. Pick up leadership roles too. Don't be scared about leadership. Don't be scared. What if I now fail in the role? Fail in that role and learn. I've served in an organization where I failed. Like me, I know that I failed. But that's people like, you did very well. I think you did this. But my mind like, I did not achieve the things I actually thought. Excuse me. Okay. All right, all right, all right, all right. Okay, I think I'm going to end. I'm going to end shortly now. I think I'm going to end shortly. And then overall, still in summary, while I try to wrap up, learn to network. One way to network, attend events. Attend people's events. That's one way to network. As a student, then I used to leave Benin, go to Lagos to go and attend events over the weekend. See, the next person that will help you. There are opportunities I've gotten that I've also told my guys to access it because there's one program that I had in Egypt. The reason why I got the program was because I attended a program in what's called Kenya. So in not Kenya, in Rwanda. Then they told me about it. Then so since the next one was going to hold in Egypt, and I know I was not going to be free called medical school, I just called one of my boys that okay, Alpha, will you be free this period? This program in Egypt. This is the link. They nominated me, but I cannot make it. Please go and apply. So sir, you must learn to network. That's also one thing you must also get to do. And overall, in summary, what I'm just trying to look like I've said many things. If you're about to leave home, do not take advice of people that have never see. Whenever you want to embark on a journey, don't take advice of people that have not left home with a short the fear that made them not to leave home will hold you, they will use it to hold you so that you not leave home, you'll be in the same space, safe space with them. Also, as you grow and as you learn these things, build people alongside. Don't just get these skills and get this knowledge and hold everything onto yourself. Get a mentor. See, get a mentor and see, get a mentor that get a mentor whatever you do. And also sorry, I'm sorry, I know the second speaker is almost coming up now. Let me just say this. There's something we used to say that don't feel pressured by what people are achieving. You know that you are in your own, how did they say? Don't feel pressured by what people are achieving. Know that you are your time and season. It's true. I understand. Sometimes you need to also be under pressure to know that you are not doing enough for yourself. Yes, I go on LinkedIn and I see because you need to see what your people are, what your age mates. I know there's no age mates, all those kind of things. See what your age mates, your people that have the same skills and everything like you, what they are achieving, and draw inspiration and possibility from them. Yes, there's something that happened of recent. Yeah, like I was going on LinkedIn. I used to go on. It's like I spent a day. I must go on LinkedIn. Spend like close to 30 minutes on LinkedIn. See what people that are doctors that have met grades and everything they are achieving. Like okay, if this person can do this, it means that there's a possibility in something like this. So that's also one thing you also need to know. And also, any mistake you need to make it early. Make it now that you're still a student. Now that you're less than 30 years, go and make all the mistakes you need to make. If you are more than 30 and making mistakes, there's already a problem around it. And also, it's not always about the money. The money will come. And finally, whatever you are doing, do it afraid. Thank you so much. I overshot my time. I sincerely apologize for that. Thank you so much. And how will I end now? Thank you so much. God bless all of us.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please don't leave us yet. So I'm sure somebody may have one or two questions. Let's just see.
Yeah, I'm still
Meanwhile,
around.
yes, our second speaker is in the room. I'm so excited. See, guys, I'm super, super excited. And let me tell you one of the reasons I'm excited. These people that are in the studio, you can hear from them. They are not people that are jobless. It's not because they are jobless that they are inside the studio. Do you understand? These are people who have a lot that they're doing with their time. But because of, the need to ensure, like he just told you, to groom other people along with you. Don't be a leader that everything is resting on you. You don't know how to delegate, right? To raise other leaders, raise other young leaders. And that's why they are able to give out their time. Trust me, it is not convenient for them. It is not. I'm telling you, like at least to the extent to which I know that it is not convenient, but they are here. So, guys, I would always ask you to do this. By now, we should see you saying thank you and sharing nuggets what you've learned in the room. We should be saying thank you, thank you, thank you, and all of that in the chat room. The chat room should be lit up with fire right now, with energies and all of that. So let's just see. Does anybody have a question? Any question? Thank you, sir. You've been most helpful. Yes, Emmanuel, you can say that again. Thank you so much, Emmanuel. Thank you so much, Sir Eddie. Thank you. Somebody's saying thank you for the impact. Thank you. Nathan is saying thank you. Thank you, sir. Betty is saying thank you. I mean, there's a whole lots of thank yous in the room. Any question? So we're already 5 minutes behind time, and our second speaker is already in the room, right? But if you have see, because Dr. Eddie is it's not because the others are not so busy. If you know what it means to be a medical doctor in this Nigeria, in fact, in this Benin as it is right now, All our doctors don't jackpot. So the ones available, they have to do like times 4 work, right? I would have also reached out to say, oh, one of these days we could have Dr. Eddie in the community to answer your questions. But I never know. I will think, oh, he's saying yes already. Oh, wow.
It's okay. It's fine.
Okay. So thank you so much, Dr. Eddie. Thank you so much. We are so grateful. I feel so humbled and privileged to have you share from your wealth of knowledge. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I learned so much. I have to watch this again. Oh, okay. Of course, you've not learned anything. Oh, if you just in case you're thinking I was in this session, when you go back, you hear other things that you did not hear, and certain things will just make more sense to you by the time you're going back over the session again. So yes, thank you so much, Dr. Eddie. If you want to be with us, it's fine, but right about now, it's okay. If you want to leave the studio, if you want to be with us, we're happy to have you. So we are going to be welcoming our other speaker, our second speaker. She will be coming up now. When you guys hear our story, if I put your ears down, let me tell you guys something. I was very intentional about the choices of speakers, right? I don't know. Maybe I'm one of those people that they want to say feminist, but I'm very big on equity, right? So if I have to do any program, if I have 4 speakers, I like to see that we have 2 female, 2 male. Like, I like that balance. You know why? Because I like ladies to see possibilities. Men are out there, right? Somebody was saying it's going to take us about 100 years to have that parity of equality in the workplace, so not in marriage. Equality in the professional world between, I don't understand. I can't see myself again. Between male and female, it's going to take about 100 years to have that parity. But we have females who are doing a lot in their space. So I like to bring females. I like that balance. I like us to have male. I like us to have females, and females who are doing so well. I don't want to say this, but I think currently right now, I'm not so sure, but I'm like 70-80% sure. The person we're bringing up right now, in the last 3 years, I've done something around the development space, right? And when you say this person is a country director, back of the country directors I've met are elderly people. Could be around my grandmom, they're in their 60s, they're in their 50s. This lady that we're bringing up, I like to say, and I'm sure that I'm like 70% correct, is if not the youngest, but one of the youngest country directors that we have in Nigeria. If you know what it means to become a country director, go and Google and check what you must have done, to now become a country director. She's not just she's the country director for the Artificial Intelligence Global Council Nigeria. And so she's the one we're bringing up right about now. So before we bring her up, moderator, please can we see our bio? Can we listen to our bios? And ladies and gentlemen, you know the drill. As they're reading the bio before she comes up, let's see you giving an ovation, a shout, a virtual love in the chat session. So thank you so much. Over to you, Daniel. Can we see the bio? Can we hear the bio?
Forefront of Africa's economic transformation, fueled by leading passion for human capital development, technology, and entrepreneurship. She's the country director of the Global AI Council in Nigeria, leading the efforts of championing AI literacy, ethical policies, and talent development in Nigeria and within Africa. As the visionary founder of EBH Africa, a Pan-African entrepreneurship hub, Frida champions youth and women empowerment and economic growth through innovative enterprise development and entrepreneurship education, impacting over 4,000 entrepreneurs across 10 countries globally. This trailblazing initiative serves as a comprehensive hub, offering entrepreneurs a singular platform for resource access, including capacity building, community support, and business assist and funding opportunities. Frida's commitment extends to the broader landscape as showcased in her role leading the Entrepreneurship Development Unit in 2021. Under her guidance, over 20,000 small businesses received crucial support through initiatives like the Dojo Business Communities, the Transforming Nigerian Youth Program in collaboration with the Enterprise Development Center and MasterCard Foundation and the Edo Online Marketplace. Frida is a 2022 Mandela Washington Fellow. She has a certification in business and entrepreneurship from Clark Atlanta University and a bachelor's degree in computer science education from Benson Idahosa University. She is a global speaker who has graced international platforms like TEDx and the African Business Convention, US African Youth Entrepreneurship Summits. Frida is recognized as one of the 10 female founders in the prestigious Women in Tech program by Standard Chartered Bank and Enterprise Development Center. She's contributed her expertise as a program manager in the Startup Support Unit at Co-Creation Hub, a Pan-Africa innovation. She is a nominee and recipient of several awards and accolades, including the Superwoman 30 and the 30 Awards, 2020 Young Entrepreneur of the Year, and recognition as Young Event Professional of the Year 2020. She is featured in prominent publications like Business Day, Exquisite Magazine, and Vanguard, solidifying a position as one of Nigeria's enterprising young leaders. With an unwavering commitment to shaping the future of African entrepreneurship, Frida Anyanwu stands as a beacon of inspiration and a catalyst for positive change. Ladies and gentlemen, let's make welcome the delectable Frida Anyanwu as she takes the stage.
Oh my God.
Frida Anyanwu stands
Thank you guys so much.
Africa's economic transformation.
Can you hear me? Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. Good evening. How do I know if people are chatting? How do I know if people are chatting and whatever they're saying? All right, I can see it. Okay, I can see one comment here. Thank you, everyone. Wow, that was interesting. I guess somehow when I hear my profile or when I see it's being read, yeah, thank you very much. I'm happy to be here. My name is Frida. Do I need to do another introduction? I don't think so. My name is Frida. For anyone who's wondering or missed out the time when my name was mentioned. And thank you, first of all, to the organizers of the program or this event. It's a laudable initiative. I was just telling a friend of mine that I'm going to be speaking to a lot of young people. And I'm really excited when anytime I get to share with young people, because it is the young people are the future. We are the future. And, you know, we used to say the future is coming, the future is coming. The truth is that the future is now. And what a better time to start, you know, having critical conversations and building the next set of leaders, the next set of young people, the next set of executives who are going to be taking on several positions instead, if not now, right? And I want to say thank you to Esohe for having me here. Well done to the team, everyone who has contributed to the success of this event. I am excited to be here, and I do look forward to, you know, sharing tonight. Once again, I just want to find out if everyone can hear me clearly. Just give me a thumbs up or give me a signal so I know you can all hear me, and then we can just go straight into the conversation. Can everybody hear me? Fantastic. That was all I needed to hear. Okay, so I've been asked to talk about, and I've been here just listening to, I wasn't privy to watch the first speaker, but I was here listening to the last speaker, Dr. Eddie, and it was really an interesting session. I'm like, why do I have to go up after Dr. Eddie, please? I'm like, he said everything, and I don't know what I'm going to say again. So we'll try not to say some of the things that he has said, but I've been asked to speak on the topic campus to career and how we can turn new skills into jobs before graduation. And it's a very interesting topic because that's something very similar to my journey. And for anyone who's asking, I will share my journey here before we start talking into, which would just lead into the whole conversation about turning your skills into a job before graduation. How do you do that? Is it important? Is it necessary? Or do you just wait till after, you come out of school? And by the way, I just have to add that not everyone is meant to start a business. Some people are just blessed and you can just work after school and it's okay. You don't have to start a business, but it is not okay to not know what to do when you get into the world of business, because whether you say you're working in a government space, you're working in a non-profit space and you work for an NGO, or you work for an actual business, you do work in a business entity. Whether it's a non-profit or it's a for-profit, it's a business entity because of the value that it brings to people. It is a business entity or a business enterprise. All right. So my journey started before I even got into the university. Before I got into university, I had graduated from the secondary school educational level, and I had just started teaching. I know it's in Nigeria, it feels like the norm thing to do. You start a business and maybe, or you graduate from secondary school, and the next thing you're thinking to yourself, oh, there's no job. Let me go and look for, or while I'm waiting for my admission, let me go and look for a job, or let me go and teach. A lot of us maybe would teach. A lot of us thought. I did teach. My mom was the head of the school at the time. And, I grew up in a home where we have my mom as the educationist and someone who's an education expert. She's been in education space for over 3 decades now, and 3 decades now. And you can tell the kind of home I grew up in. A home where everyone is straightforward, dogged. You had to be focused at some point. So I graduated, and the last day after my paper, I just told my mom, I'm going with you tomorrow to work. I can't stay at home. It's not possible. And I've always been someone who is always looking for something to do. Not because I am a playful child. I was not the playful child. I'm just always, my mind is always busy. My mind is always at work. My mind is always coming up with something new. So I like to always tell myself I'm a creative innovator. So because of that, there was no way I would stay at home and be idle at any point. And so for me, it was like a no-brainer just going to work with my mom. And it wasn't like I just wanted to leave the house. It wasn't like, oh, I want you to hire me. It was just like, oh, I want to come to your workplace and just stay there. And I stay in a place where people are working and I can watch them. Not that I want to, because I'm going to be home, I'll be doing dishes, and that would become a norm. And so I decided that day to follow my mom to her office, and luckily a teacher didn't come. A teacher who was meant to, in the nursery school, you have 2 teachers in the classroom, and then a teacher did not show up that day for the class. And so I stepped in to, assist, nurture the kids, take them to the bathroom when it's a bathroom break, and all of that. Help the kids, handhold them when they want to write, show them, teach the ABCs and the 1, 2, 3s and all of that, right? And so that happened, and that just continued. The next day I followed, and the day after I followed, and now there was a need for a teacher, an assistant teacher, And it was a no-brainer to just say, oh, Frida is just right here. Okay, Frida, just go and assist in the classroom and just take over and do your thing. And that's how I became a teacher, and a good teacher at that. I pride myself to say that there's nothing that I do that doesn't come out well. It always comes out well. And I will tell you, it's not because I go in there and say, oh, I know it so much. I go in there, I don't even know anything. I dedicate my time to learning. And this will come in handy in our conversation later on, because it is a critical thing that we don't get to see now. As I have I'm working a lot with young, and I'm worried that we don't have a lot of young people who are dedicated to something. It doesn't even have to be a job. Some people are not even dedicated to themselves, and that's already a challenge. That's already an issue. We're talking about job creation, before we start talking about skills, before we start talking about what happens after I graduate. There are critical things that must be embedded in you as an individual, some things that must be embedded in you as a person for you to be able to thrive. You cannot thrive if you do not have certain characteristics. Now, you're not born with kindness. You're not born with an ability to speak well. You're not born with dedication. You're not born with the act of owning certain things or owning your mistakes or being responsible. You're not born with what you call accountability. These things are what you learn in the process. Now, you might not have anyone to teach you, because you might be saying, oh, I live in a rural environment, no one really cares. Everyone lies, everyone cheats, everyone is irresponsible. So, but you're human. And the beautiful thing about the human mind is that God has given you the power to know the right from the wrong things. And so it is easier to make certain decisions. And so you cannot say, I conformed to the norm or the normalcy of what everyone is doing, and you now decided not to show up and learn for yourself, but because you're trying to conform to what everyone is doing, which is absolutely wrong. And so for me, learning and growing was a result of dedication, was as a result of the work that I was putting in, not because I want to show off to anybody. It was because I want to be best for myself. I'm not doing it because tomorrow I want them to come and clap for me and say, oh my gosh, she's the amazing person. I'm doing it because I want to feel satisfied with whatever I am doing. Am I making sense to everyone here? Is it okay? Are you getting what I'm saying already? And so it is important that I had those skills: dedication, commitment. And I know a lot of people say, oh, dedication, commitment. There's also something called consistency. And for me, consistency means that you are reliable. I don't know if there's anyone who has a habit of not showing up frequently, and then they give that person an award for not showing up. Or the person doesn't show up frequently and there's a huge responsibility, and that person is given that responsibility. I am not aware of it. I have never seen it. And if there is anywhere where that happens, I would love to work in that place, because I'm actually very tired. So I would love to work in a place where I don't have to show up, but I just have to get it. Now, the thing about consistency is that it automatically just positions you as a reliable person. So when I work with someone, and I'm working with a group of people right now, and I am telling them, oh, this is what we're going to do. This is what, and I have people who show up today. After 2 days, you won't hear from them. They don't communicate. They don't tell you anything. They know the work. They just show up, do the work, and they're like, oh, we've done the work, we move on. And I'm like, okay, good, 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 great, fantastic. And so, and so, then you have another set of people who are always consistent. They're there, they're telling you this is what we're doing, this is how we're doing it. They're there, it is good, they are there, it is bad, they are there, it is successful, they are there, it is not successful, they are there. They're always showing up. And you see, for any time there is an opportunity, those are the people who I always call first before I would call any other person. Now, even if these people who are showing up don't even know the work, even if these people who are showing up, they don't have an idea, up to the people who don't show up, I always pick the ones who show up first. You know why? Because I want to have my army. I want to have people who fight with me, not the people that when I turn my back, I'm like, they were here or they were meant to be here. I don't want that. And so as life transitions, you will find yourself in places where you always have to show dedication, commitment, show that you're a reliable person through consistency. And so going back to my career, followed my mom, we started working. From being an assistant teacher, I grew into becoming a head teacher. Now, from becoming a head teacher, I became the teacher everybody wanted, to work with. Parents wanted to work with me because it was not just a thing of I was showing up and doing the work. It was I was showing up, I was doing the work, and there were results. Now, another thing that I will tell you is that don't be someone who is about the efforts. Be someone who's also about the outcome. And I see a lot of people right now, they're doing a lot of efforts. What you're doing is, oh, I'm getting degrees upon degrees, certifications upon certifications, going to events after events, gathering pictures of celebrities that you take together because you want to prove to people that you know them or you don't know them. And you're gathering all these information, all these things. And at the end of the day, the outcome is zero. It's bare minimum. So what's the end goal? Ask yourself for everything that you're doing. What is the end goal? What is in it for me? Why am I going to do this? Why is it so important? If I'm going to attend an event, what am I going to gain from this? And then when I go there, what will be the thing that will stop me from doing or achieving it? Oh, I want to be able to connect with Dr. Eddie. And I know that I'm going to connect with him at an event. He's the reason why I'm going there. Now, maybe on the way, I might see Frida, I might see Ruth, or I might see Esther, I might see a couple of people that I want to also connect with because maybe in my trajectory, these guys will be very good for me. But my primary focus is Dr. Eddie, right? Now, I'm attending that event because of Dr. Eddie. And so when I go there, will I just go there and say, oh my God, Dr. Eddie, good to see you. And I walk past? What do I want to tell him when I see him? What is the goal? What is the essence? What will be the essence of our conversation? Do I have it written down somewhere? Right? What will be the outcome? What do I want him to think about me when he sees me? What do I want him to remember me by? What would be the next thing I would want him? Would he want to mentor me? Would he want to give me something? Would he want to connect me with someone who can help me? What is that thing that you want? Now, a lot of people jump into things because of the effort. It looks good. It's glamorized. It's packaged so well, and everybody wants to do it because we now have social media where I think a lot of people are just trying to show off what's the next thing after the next thing and the next thing after the next thing. And the outcome is just a bare minimum. So I meet a lot of people who on paper, they sound great. They have everything. And then you meet them in person, zero substance, zero value, zero outcome. Everything is just zero. And I'm like, what's going on here? Because a lot of people are putting in so much time in being busy without an outcome, without an end goal. And so take out that. It's not even about working smart or working hard. It's about what my mind is about to achieve and what my goal is. Do I go for an event and take pictures of people because, oh, there's a celebrity that came here. Oh, there's this celebrity that came and I took a picture with him. And everybody's like, oh my God, you met Fela Durotoye. Oh my God, you met Olori Melu. Oh my God, you met James Bond. And you met and you met and you met. And what do you get from the meeting? What did you get? What do you come back home with from the meeting? That should be the critical question and the critical thing that we ought to be talking about, right? And so when we're talking about skills, turning that skill that you have into a job, we need to address the underlying issue of everybody wants to be busy. Nobody is thinking about long term. Nobody is thinking about what's the outcome going to be. Everybody's thinking about, what do I do now that can make everybody feel impressed? What do I do now that can make everybody? I don't do fake it till you make it. I've never done it. I don't do fake it till you make it. I would rather be working in faith, knowing that God is going to bring it my way. But if He doesn't, I also have other things that I'm focused doing. So there's no time to package yourself and say, oh, I'm packaging myself because we have to prove to we don't have anybody that we're impressing here, right? And so going back again to the story, became head teacher, now became the person everyone wants to work with. I was working with lots of parents, and I was really indeed making a lot of money. Now fast forward to my university days. Things really were not so great. So great at the time I got into university. Things were not so great. I had like a lot of financial responsibilities, and for me, a business was something that I felt would be. And I remember one time somebody asked me, "Why did you start a business?" And I said I was hungry. I actually was hungry. Nothing has changed. I was hungry, and hunger led me to start the business, because by the time I saw the pile up of things I needed money for, I like, oh my God, use this money you have to start a business. So what did I not do? I did everything except maybe selling human parts or anything illegal. I did everything from making hair. I learned how to braid hair and style hair, so I could do that. I still make my hair to today. Making hair, I did that a lot in uni. Selling things, I sold perfumes, I sold gifts, I sold different things, clothes, shoes, bags, fashion items, anything you can think of. And then I realized that I'm a very detailed person. I'm a person who loves detail. I'm a person who is organized. And so I had to transition that skill into something that become profitable. And so I looked through all types. Okay, I was Googling, checking everywhere. When you want to turn your organizational skills into a business, what business will it be? And so I was thinking, I thought of it. I thought, oh, organization skills are very great. People need it. Will I be a virtual assistant? I'm running a school alongside it. I don't think I have that time, right? Something I can do, and then I can always pick it up when I have the time to do it. So my organization skill led me into starting an ushering business. I gathered a group of young ladies in school. And now, because one of the things that I'm very good at is look good. I like to look presentable. Now, I may not know how to be very stylish, but I do know how to put one and two together to come out well. And I could tell how my ushers how to dress, and I'll tell them how to look presentable, from packaging themselves, personal hygiene, how it reflects into their appearance, to their clothes. I could tell them your shirt is not ironed, this doesn't represent, iron it properly. It has to have this, fine ironing style. Everything had to be proper, prim and proper. Like I mentioned, it's in the detail. Now I organized them. We'll go in early. We started getting gigs. Ooh, we were getting a lot of gigs at the time. But what did I do? I started packaging my business, talking about it, telling people, hey, if you have events, ushers. I remember the first time we did an ushering job was even in school. School was having what do you call it? And usually they would just pick up a few leaders and say, oh, come and usher. And it was not organized. And then I told them the next time they were doing an event that I could organize a group of people for them at a fee. And then they said, okay. So when it was time and they wanted to think about ushering, of course, because I was already ringing it like a bell, my name was already there. So they were like, oh, let's get Frida to do it. And Frida came. And I organized the ushers, the way they dressed, the way they looked, the way they appeared, even taught them how to speak so well, like eloquently, because these things affect the nature of the work. You know, you go and you say hello. It's different from hello. You know, just the way you present yourself. There's a new word I think Gen Z is using now, very demure. Yeah, make sure that people were coming out in a very demure in a very demure state. And that just helped everybody. Oh, Frida, very fantastic. And then the officials, business school officials who were there were telling me, oh, we have a birthday that's coming up. Oh, my dad's birthday is coming up. We need ushers. My auntie's baby is wanting one thing. You know, my cousin is getting married. I recommend you. That was how the buzz started going. We were getting a lot of deals in Benin at the time. I was in Benin at the time. And as a young person who was in school, balancing that with my academics, it was something that I knew that I could always bank on. Now, there's something I would say that don't start a business because it looks glamoring. Because for myself, I was not even someone who could say I was an introvert and I could put people together. I was just an introverted person, but I had that skill. But because I have that skill, it was easy for me to communicate with people what I wanted, how I wanted it, how the clients wanted, what the clients wanted. I could ask critical questions. So for me, because I'm not an extroverted person, I was able to now define, oh, what do you want? What kind of questions will I ask the client so that I don't have to speak so much? Right? I was doing certain things so that I don't have to speak so much. Even to my ushers, I don't have to speak so much. And sometimes they will ask me, Frida, why are you not? I'm like, no, I've already told you guys what to do. Go ahead and do it. I will be here to supervise, but I don't want to be involved in talking. But then that thing grew, and people came and started asking me, oh, so you offer event planning services? As event planning service now became a thing people were asking me about. And so I said, okay, let's venture into event planning. I was doing event planning while I was in university. I would plan events. I would join even the school events team to put events together. And so it was a no-brainer for me at the time. I wasn't talking so much, but I was delivering. I was executing. I knew how to merge the colors. I knew how to make sure that the tables were arranged. My eyes were paying attention to those details. My organization skill could make sure that nothing was left out and everybody could remember, you know, everything that we needed to remember. And so that just grew. As I was building that business, I was learning critical skills, how to speak in public, how to connect with people, emotional intelligence. Like I said, I already knew how to be committed to something. I already knew how to show up for something and be consistent. And so that was not my problem. The other problem was now other skills like how to manage finance, how to structure the business, how to make sure that I'm making profits, and how to make sure that I'm growing as much as the business is also growing. And so it would interest you to know that I ran that business for 6 years. So I ran it even after I had come out of school, because I started running that business in my 200 level. And so I ran that business way after I had even graduated from school, from uni. And that business contributed to the skill that I was bringing to the job market. Now, I could have said I wasn't going to do a 9 to 5 and just move on and do a business. Well, there are people who do that and they've grown and exceeded and excelled at it. But for me, I also wanted to do a 9 to 5. And so because I already knew how to balance this, my business with my academics, it was a no-brainer for me to be able to balance my 9 to 5 and my business. And so it was a hassle, but I was able to pull it off. I was dragging it because why? My consistency and my dedication were merging together, were skills that I had that was taking me and making sure that the business was functioning. And then another thing that I would say is that when you start a business, don't start it because it makes you happy. I know a lot of people talk about, oh, follow your passion, follow your passion. Newsflash, passion is discipline. Whatever you are passionate about, you should be disciplined enough to stick to it, whether it is favorable or not. So passion is not something that makes you happy. When you think about it, you'll be happy. Oh, I apologize to everybody that I ever told that, but I don't think I ever mentioned it because I always say that passion is discipline, and discipline is the ability to stick to something whether it is good or not. And that's the core of business. You cannot say, I have a skill, I'm starting a business. Oh, because I love clothes, I think fashion is for me. Well, that's not the reason why you are going into fashion. You will fail because tomorrow your love for clothes might fade. And maybe you might even realize that your love for clothes is not really relating to fashion. Maybe your love for clothes is relating to laundry. Because you can love clothes in different ways. Maybe you can love clothes by washing them. You can love clothes by making them. You can love clothes by even buying them. You can love clothes by selling them, right? So you can love clothes in different formats. So the key thing here is you know what you are disciplined to the core on. If I'm into fashion, I love fashion. Can I do fashion even when it's not working? Because newsflash, for a year in my events business, I was not making any money. I will tell you for free, I was working. People even owed me. I never really got the money. I was nobody. In fact, it was not like a year. We had ushering business when I started my ushering business. But when I started my event planning business, for a year, I didn't even have a client. I didn't even have anybody that said, oh, my rat died and I wanted to do funeral for the rat. So please come and be the planner. I didn't get all that. I didn't get anybody patronizing me for a year. But in that 1 year, I stuck to it. I kept hammering on the fact that I need to structure the business. And when anybody was hearing me that year, you think maybe I made a lot of money, or you would even think maybe, wow, maybe Frida is cashing out. I wasn't cashing out. I just kept talking about my business, pushing it, branding it. Dr. Eddie talked about branding, talking about what I was doing, making sure that people who needed to hear about my business could hear about it. And they did hear about it because the second year, things started going well. But because that 1 year I spent it structuring my business, I had spent it working and saving time, it helped me to now proceed, to now know what I want to do as the business was growing. So let's say out of 6 years I ran a business, 1 whole year, no clients. Who would stay in a business for a whole year and say, I'm running a business for a whole year, no clients, and I'll do it? Who can? In this day and time where we have lots of people saying, oh, no, it's difficult, I'm going to find another thing to do. Somebody ran a business for 1 year without clients. And so those skills that you have, they are important. Any skill that you are learning, where you feel like, oh, I'm a great public speaker, what can I do to make me become a valuable person? You can be someone who, as a public speaker, maybe you can do telemarketing. You can do telemarketing for companies, be able to communicate to people and say, or customer service and tell people, work with them virtually. Different skills that you have that you can channel into jobs before you graduate. Now, like I said, passion is discipline. Don't start a business because it makes you happy. Start a business because you can stick to it regardless of its status, whether it is successful, whether it is not successful. You have the ability to stay put. Now, when I mean not successful, I don't mean when it is outrightly failing, you're still there. I mean, you know that, okay, there's more to this business. It's just not picking up at this time now. Or maybe there's something that you need to work on and do and increase your chances of running that business effectively. That's where you now say, okay, I'm going to take the pain, I'm going to do it regardless of how long it takes. But not that it's not profitable because you are eating all the profits. As the money comes, you spend it. As the money comes, you spend it. That's not how life is. That's not how it works. In business, you can even choose not to pay yourself for years. I didn't pay myself for years any salary. And it was that business, the skills that I learned from that business that I put into also when I was applying for my Mandela Washington application. And those skills that I've learned was what I also used when I was volunteering at the Edo State Government House. And those skills got me from volunteering into internship. And those skills helped me scale. Why? Because I already started nurturing myself with my skills from the university. So you don't even have to wait till you come out of university to start honing your skills. You can start from where you are. And that's a beauty about the world we're living in right now. You have YouTube, you have access to people, you have social media, Instagram. Use it as a method of learning. You know something is nice. You like fashion. You can start learning, get a role model. You don't have to have a mentor first. A lot of people are jumping right now into mentorship. You don't know somebody. A mentor is someone who should have a personal relationship with you, and you're also giving that person some level of value. You can start by having a role model. See how this person is doing their business, understand how their processes work, and you're implementing those things into your business. Thank you, Esosa. You're learning those things. You don't have to jump all the way to say, oh, I'm okay. I think I want to start this business. This is how I feel about it. No, that's not how it should be. That's not how it should go. That's not the critical path. That's not for you. You don't have to go and start saying, you know what? I want Onyelu Melu to mentor me. You can start with your peers. Look for your people who are doing it around you, who are doing it so well. Learn from them. The problem now is that we have too many people who are organs of themselves. So how would they learn? Learn, put yourself down. I heard somebody said volunteering. Volunteer. I was a volunteer when I started. But how can I be an amazing volunteer, right? If I had not learned from my university days. My university days did not just teach me how to start a business. It taught me how to be disciplined. It taught me how to be committed. It taught me how to show up. It taught me, emotional intelligence, how to talk to people, how to treat my work. So when I became a volunteer, it was easy. It was a thing. I became the only volunteer that was retained. In fact, from volunteering to internship, from internship to becoming a full-time staff. And so it was a no-brainer because I was showing up and I was giving all of that energy into my work. And so the skills that you have while you are in university will take you really far. And so don't downplay yourself right now to say, oh my God, I don't think I'm up for it. I don't think this is not my thing. Well, nothing is your thing at the beginning. Nothing. You don't know anything at the beginning. You stay on the grind. You work. You build. You are there. You show up. You're like, we die here. This is where we're gonna be. And that's how you keep building. That's how you keep nurturing your skills. And when you now see, because one of the things, opportunity will always go and find the people who are prepared. And if it comes to you and you're not prepared, it will go to someone else. Now imagine that you already have started honing your skills, and there is an opportunity that just suddenly comes around, and they're looking for people who have the skill that you have. It will be something to a no-brainer to accept you. Do you understand me? But when you are absent-minded, when you are saying, oh, please, when we get to that bridge, we'll cross. I have said anything about when we get to that bridge, we'll cross it. Because in the moment, I'm like, why don't we know how to cross the bridge now? Because the bridge, when you get there, it's important that you know how to cross it. You don't go to the battlefield and say, you are wearing your armor or your armory, and you say, so how do we fight? Do I raise my cutlass? Do I raise my sword? Okay, how do I shoot this bow and arrow? Or how do you learn how to shoot a gun? Before you figure it out, you are dead. So by the time you're coming into the marketplace, the job market as a young person, you should be somebody who is hungry, who is ambitious. And then another thing I want to touch on is ambition is not desperation. Please know this. Being ambitious and being desperate are two different things. Desperacy comes from a place of all die and I die. I don't do that. Ambition comes from a place of I have a goal. I want to achieve it. I am focused. My drive doesn't die. Desperacy, you want to hear people who are desperate, you hear by hook or by crook. All that and I die. What are those things? No. You want to thrive in the workplace, you want to thrive in the job space, you need to understand that my ambition is the clear goals I've set for myself. I need the drive. I need to feel myself. And feeling yourself could be studying. Feeling yourself could be working, volunteering, meeting the right people, getting mentorship, serving. You will never know how far service will take you if you don't give it a chance. You have people who you can serve. Find the right people, serve them. Service opens doors to a lot of things, a lot of ways to learn. Service opens doors to a lot of opportunities. It is important. Serve. My young people, serve. Don't just sit down and expect things to fall on your laps. Don't just sit down and expect that you will begin to excel. Find what to do. Even the Bible says, "Seest thou a man who is diligent in his work, and he will stand before kings." And one of that scripture, it takes me through every time. And when I saw her earlier was introducing me, and she said she might be wrong, but she's correct about me being. Let me give you an example. When I was being introduced, I was introduced as the country director for the Global AI Council. Now, the Global AI Council is an international organization in the USA. And when they were expanding, they started expanding into Africa by starting with Nigeria. But seest thou a man who is diligent in her work? I like to say, seest thou a woman who is diligent in her work. When it was time, as a no-brainer, I'm actually not no more country director. I now lead the Africa region. It means that I lead the whole of Africa. The how many number of countries in Africa? What the people who speak English, the people who don't speak English. The people who lead those countries report to me. Now, how? Some people ask themselves, how? I'm not up to 30 yet. I'm close to 30, but I'm not up to 30 yet. But guess what? Somebody like me is already taking such a huge and magnificent role. Then what is she doing right? What is she doing right? How do you get there? You don't just get there by saying, even if you like, you pray. Yes, you pray, but you have to work. You have to show up. You have to be diligent. You have to be consistent. The skills that I learned from when I just come out of secondary school are the skills that I'm working with now. Nothing has changed. Nothing changed. I just added some more. Dedication. My drive just increased. My workload increased, yes. But as a young person, you can be more. You can be much more. Don't let people tell you that you cannot be anything. Oh, you are too young. You're not too young. You are never too young. Find time, serve, find opportunities, volunteer. Volunteer. Speak to people. Let them connect you. Let them mentor you. Let them nurture you. You have a responsibility to nurture yourself, to grow, to learn, to accelerate your goals. Write them down. Pray about it. God will give you the opportunities. It doesn't just happen, guys. It doesn't just happen. Am I going to be the youngest? I feel like I'm the youngest. I don't know if there's anyone else who has this role, the youngest. Yes, I'm even going tomorrow. I'm going to be inducted into a body, and I'm the youngest. I'm looking at the names of the people who I'm like, I'm the youngest here. How did it come about? It came about from service. It came about from learning. It came about from growing. It came about from constantly just delivering value. You as a person, you have to be a valuable person so that you can give value to other people. You can't give what you don't have. You can't. So the value that you have given to yourself, the discipline, the training, commitment, consistency that you have learned for yourself, showing up for yourself, you can now translate that into other people's work, other people's business. When someone hires you, it's easier for them to say, this person is a person of standard, top-notch quality. And I was speaking to my boss, my boss, who is the CEO. She kept saying, there's nobody like you. You work like you're not working, but you're working. How do you do it? The truth is, you have to be dogged. You have to say, no, this is what I'm doing. This is how I'm doing it. I'm showing up. It is your responsibility. No one else is going to come and save you. You have to come save yourself. You have to come and say, this is my goal. This is my assignment for myself. My assignment to you today would be, go back, think about yourself, what you want to be 5 years from now. Put it in breaks like this. What I want to be 5 years from now, what I want to be 10 years from now. And I saw an old notepad. I was arranging my house and I saw an old notepad that I had written what I want to be by the age of 40 and how I want to achieve it. Ladies and gentlemen, I am not 40 yet, but I'm looking at myself And I'm smiling and I'm saying, girl, you are there. You are there. Growing up, I used to tell my mom that I know I'm going to be very influential. And I'm going to, not because I'm not talking about influential with all these influencers. I'm saying influential, meaning that your voice can contribute to certain things and people can stamp on it and say, oh, this person said it. Oh, Frida is one of the contributors to this, an influential voice. A voice that people can hear, that can speak to people like I'm speaking to you right now, and will be able to contribute value to you. And I used to tell her, Mommy, I'm going to be very influential. And she'll say, baby girl, go and write it down. And I did not just pop out of nowhere. There's been some real building. I've been through the fire. I have worked. I've had people say not nice things about me. I've had people do things to me. I've had the journey. I've failed and I've succeeded. So it's not a matter of, oh, you know, she never experienced failure. Yeah? I chewed failure for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I received rejections left, right, and center. As a young girl, I was getting harassed because I had a business. But I was dogged to the call to say, I will not let anybody say that, oh, because Frida had to compromise, that's how she got there. Nobody can have, nobody can come and speak to me and say, oh, I know what you did. You compromised. I've never compromised. I can never compromise. And you know why? It's because I know who I am. I know what I have done. I know what I am capable of. And so it's important that you also know, because when I talk about discipline, I mean it, because you get to a situation where people can toss you left, right, and center, and you just budge, and you just, oh, it was hard. That's why I had to do it. No, you will go through the fire. That discipline will take you there, will push you, will keep you, will tell you, no, we're not doing this because it doesn't align with your values. And so it is important. You owe it to yourself to be better. You owe it to yourself to be great. You owe it to yourself to achieve your goals. You owe it to yourself, because the truth is, nobody applauds average people. Hey. Excellence has so many friends. Excellence, it has so many friends. When tomorrow somebody, remember when Hilda Bassi was doing the cookathon? Anyone remember? Yeah, the whole Nigeria, in fact, almost the whole world, they were standing right beside her. People didn't know Hilda Bassi from anywhere, but everybody was applauding her. But when Chef Dami came to do it, she didn't do it the right way. She tried to do it the right way, but she did not do it. Is anybody still talking about her now in like a good way? But today, Hilda Bassi, they are inviting her to come and speak. They are using her as ambassador. They are bringing her here. They are bringing her there. You know why? Everybody loves to associate with success. Nobody wants to associate with anyone who's average. Then think about anyone who's a failure. If nobody wants to associate with anybody that carries second, why would people want to now associate with anybody that carries last? So think about it for yourself. Where do I want to belong? Do I want to belong among the top rated people? Or do I want to just be the bare minimum person? Some people show up and do the bare minimum. Don't be a bare minimum person. Don't be someone who everybody will be like, oh, she just comes, she just do half work, hazard work. It doesn't even work very well, and she just go. Don't be that person. Be someone of excellence. Be someone who your name should outlive you. By the time you are done, they are still talking about you. They are still talking about, wow, this is Angela. This is Esosa. This is Timilein. This person, what? Oh, wow. Thank God we had that person work in this organization. Thank God that person did this business with us. Thank God. Dr. Eddie was talking about reputation because your branding, when you learn all these things, are you going to implement them or you're just going to wrap them in your notepad and tag all of us and say, oh, this person, fire? Or are you going to start implementing? Don't be a bare minimum person. It's someone who your name can outlive you. That's one of the things that I used to say. My name can outlive. These days, I tell people, oh, just go there and tell them Frida Anya will send you. And that's what it should be. That's how you should be. I do hope that with these few words that I've shared tonight, that you do have learned a lot of things from all I have shared. I look forward to catching up with you guys again. Thank you so much once again for having me. Esohe, are you still here?
Oh, yes, I am here. Wow, such a very, very wonderful session. In fact, I'm looking for the right words to qualify the session. You know, I thought it was I told them yesterday. Yesterday was like fire, and I'm like, today is gonna be fire and thunder. As if this fire and thunder brought dew. You know the dew effect. It's just calm, but it is entering. It is tricking you where it's supposed to trick you. Who agrees with me, right? That I just need to know if I'm the only one who feels that way. I thought that Frida was just calm, right? But then she was dropping the words, and they were right. They were hitting the right spot. I mean, they were practical, right? It wasn't just some theory. It was really, really practical. I'm so grateful, Frida. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. I can imagine the work on your table, and still you have to take out time to come do this. Thank you so much. We're so grateful. I don't know if
Thank
anybody
you
has
so
a
much.
question.
Yeah, I'm happy to take a
Does anybody
question
have
or
a
two.
Yeah? So see, maximizer now. I know you guys are waiting for me to say, Mafrida, are we going to bring that to the group, to the community? You people, you're not giving me so many. I'm not seeing people that are really hungry. Some of you don't understand. Maybe when I really hope that you're able to take advantage of this, that you don't wait to come out of school, right? And now begin to reflect on the journey that you probably could have, before you now start the lessons that you were supposed to learn. I'd made up my mind that I really don't think I want to be one of the speakers. No, initially I thought I was going to be one of the speakers for the session. So it was 3 ladies, 3 females. But as it went on, I was like, I beg, let me bring people, right? Maybe if I still have the time tomorrow, I'm just going to share some things with you. We have people all the people that we've brought up are people who have the success story to tell, how they're able to make it through school and all of that. Some people don't. I particularly wasn't one person who started while I was in school. Maybe if I have the time, I'm not one of those. I didn't start while I was in school. I was those people that thought that in school, want to hit first class. We bury our head inside. We're not going to join any club. We're not going to do anything. We not do nothing. While we're in school, right? I don't know if I have the time, but I know that in the series, I'll take one of the sessions, right? So guys, I really wish, one of the things that we look forward to is every time we look back on our journey, we're excited to know that we're able to lead people so they don't make that mistake. For some of the times we thought we made mistakes, so they don't make it. And that's one of the things mentor does for you. They ensure that your journey is fast. They ensure you don't make the mistakes that they've made before. So I really wish you guys would take advantage of this. I really wish you would take advantage of this. Let me ask you, how do you think that you'd have been able to go and reach not just the country director now, a regional director? How you go want to find her? You guys don't understand.
Please, you can find me on Instagram. Oh,
Maybe you
you
don't
can
understand.
find me.
No, it's okay. You will find her, but it is So I can show you my phone, yeah? I have messages and I barely have the time to respond. Do you understand? I'm supposed to take a coaching session this morning. Once the time I slated for it passed and the person called back, my people, I did not have the time again. Right? So the world is a global village. Yes, the internet has brought everybody together. You can go into their DM and send a message, but I don't know how much time you have to have them give you 30 minutes, 1 hour plus of their time to say they're listening to that. That's what I mean. It's not like you will see her on LinkedIn. And by now, I expect that a couple of you are already following her. All our speakers, that you're already following them on LinkedIn, on different social media platforms. No, we don't need all our speakers in the community for obvious reasons. So even if we're bringing them to the community, we'll try as much as possible to see how we can bring them in a very... Please go ahead and ask your question. You don't need to tell me I have a question. I'm scrolling through to see the questions already. That's why she's still here. There is no E in my name. My name is Esohe. It is Esohe, not Eseoe. I think that's the Asian version, right? So Chioma, please could you put your question down so that our speaker can quickly take it and then she can go ahead and do other things that she has to do. Chioma, what's your question? I thought if you have questions, please within the next 3 minutes, just drop the questions in the chat. Drop the questions and let's take the questions. Nancy, Chioma, drop the questions so we can take the questions. I'm currently in school and I'm definitely not waiting. That's good to hear. The session was mind-blowing. Awesome. Ask your question, though, because I'm not keeping her here for longer than necessary, right? If she's going to be able to come to the community, we'll do that, but we'll have to find a way to manage that. Not just her, all of the speakers that have come on. We'll find a way to manage how they're able to come in and all of that. We're still waiting for the question. If within the next 3 minutes the questions is not dropping, we would not have a choice but to allow Miss Frida, go about our evening, right? And congratulations to you on your induction. Yes, congratulations.
Thank you so much. I'm happy that I did this. Yeah. Whew.
I know. So apparently you guys can see that she's a person of few words, yeah? It's obvious, right?
I try my best not to go beyond what I'm meant to say. But thank you, Esohe, for having me. I'm grateful to you and the team. And well done for all the efforts you're doing and putting together. Oh my God. This is someone says have characteristics or leader, but naturally has enough. How do the person overcomes this and comes out as the best? Well, the good thing, Chioma, is that you already know that you have an opposing character to being a character of a leader, so fix it. And the first thing, my dad used to say that once a madman knows that he's mad, then he's well. That's the first cure. You already know that you want to have characteristics of a leader, and you now know that there are certain things hindering you. So you have to make conscious efforts to change those habits. What are those habits that you already have that is not giving you full capacity to becoming a leader? You have to be able to learn those things and drop the old ones. Is it anger? So you need to learn how to control yourself. I'll tell you, I'm not perfect. I wasn't perfect at all. I'm not perfect. I'm kind of perfect now. But I wasn't perfect initially when I started. And so the best thing for what I did was I learned, and I also heard about certain things that I wanted to change, right? If you feel like, oh, I talk too much and I don't listen, then now pay attention. Maybe sometimes put water in your mouth, don't swallow it, just keep it there. So when somebody's telling you things, just listen until you are done, and then you can spill the water, right? So that's another way. Just come up with creative ways to be able to control yourself. But the key thing here is you should be able to you should be able to, what do you call it, work on yourself to have um the opposing characters that you have, removed or reduced to a large extent. I hope I answered your question, Chioma, Nancy. Manfreda, did you ever experience any roadblock where your skill was clashing with your academic activities? Well, yeah. At that time, you have to now think what's important. What's important for me, if that was that when that was happening, was my academics, of course. But you need to know in that situation when you know you are having to balance, you need to understand how to prioritize. I have 24 hours in a day. What will be my time, right? If I spend my day learning or something, during the day, if I find time, I can take a 1 hour nap. I don't miss it. That's not the time to go gist with your friends or gossip or whatever. That's the time to maximize it. So you don't do certain things that will waste your time or scrolling on social media when you should be finding that time useful for other things, right? It's important. So you now need to know where that balance comes in. What is eating the bulk of your time, and how can you, replace it with something that is more valuable to you? And so, yeah. Justina, I hope I answered your question. What was the one thing you wish you had done well when you started your business in school? Oh, what was the one thing I wish I had done well? Well, I think for me, it would be speaking to more people. Like I mentioned, I was an introvert. So I was speaking to the people that I could see. And the opportunity that I got were the ones that were bringing me more opportunities. So maybe, but if I was very open about speaking to more people, talking about what I'm doing, yeah, by the time where I was able to speak clearly and talk about what I was doing, yeah, I guess it would have brought me many more opportunities. So yeah. Miss Frida, please, what were the challenges you had? Do you mean when I had running my business, or both managing both my career and my business and my academics in school? Well, the challenge I had when majorly, like I mentioned, initially I had a challenge of structuring my business, understanding the business concept and understanding how to run it. And then I started learning. I wasn't doing business management in school, I was doing computer science. And so I started learning core things about business. I started learning key things that I needed to, impute. Um, and then for my academics, like I mentioned earlier, you need to understand the balance of your time. Understand that there are certain times I wasn't found just gisting or lounging away or scrolling up on social media. There were times that I needed to go, you know, learn other things. I'll spend time learning. Sometimes I'll spend it working on something, an idea, being innovative on something that I was working on, and making sure that my clients at the time get me something fresh and new. And so those things were really important to me, and those things really worked. I think it's important. So for me, overcoming all of that is just finding balance. And I always say balance is a myth, but find what is taking the bulk of your time that is not valuable to you actively, and fix something there that needs to be valuable to you. It could be reading, it could be working, it could be something.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Frida. Thank you for your time. Thank you for staying
Thank
back to
you.
all of those questions. Okay, so let me just, as Obasage, so that I will not say that this Miss Esoe. Don't worry, I will reach out to Madam Frida. But that also depends on how much you guys are really hungry to learn and take advantage of these people that the program is offering you access to, right? These are busy people. I'm not going to come and bring them to the group. That's when you're not thinking of your question or the questions they're asking. Yeah, questions that we know that, you know. So that depends. Like I said, the community is always going to run. It's there. We're building a community for people to be better versions of themselves before they come out of university. And of course, we intend to track progress over time. So it's going to be there, right? So we see how hungry and how willing you guys are. Would always have opportunity to bring these people back and see how they can steal out time from their busy schedule to always come around to the group. Obasagi, I hope that has answered you, right? Good. So thank you so much, Frida. We're grateful for your time. Thank you for choosing to spend your evening, for spending over an hour, 30 minutes.
I am grateful.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I'm grateful now. All right,
Yes.
bye. Have a lovely evening ahead.
Bye, and you too. All right, guys. So I'm sure we've had a very beautiful session today. And see what we forgot to do. We didn't say thank you to Mrs. Frida. Oh, I think I'm having network issues. It's not clear on my side. Yes, I think for a while it kept, hooking and picking up again from my side. Yeah. Thank you, Kendra. Thank you. I'm hungry to learn, and I know we all are. How does one overcome the act of finding it hard to connect with people, even while being extroverted and also as a leader? I felt that she had done justice to that question while she was speaking, right? So thank you so much, guys, for staying. I really have to confess that the turnout for today wasn't, so encouraging, but I'm getting a whole lot of feedback on the group. A couple of people were having network challenges. I had decided with the team that, after the event, we're going to pull the sessions down, because it's like, because the sessions are up there, we have people not taking advantage of, because they're telling themselves we'll go back to listen. The truth is that you will never go back to listen. It's only those who were in the session that probably would be able to put themselves together and go back to listen. But those who were not will it's a lie you're telling yourself that you will go back to listen. So I thought that we're going to pull down the videos just after every session, but I'm getting a whole lot of feedback that the network has really been crappy, and I'm seeing a whole lot of people saying, we're trying to join, we've been trying to join, network has been crappy. And I can also tell a bit from my end, because it's keep freezing and coming up, For some time, I feel like, I couldn't hear anything. So I agree that the network has been crappy, and I want to assume that would have better engagement tomorrow. Don't worry, I'm not about to start speaking. I'm not. See, we are all learning. I'm not speaking. But one thing I'm definitely going to do is, another thing I've noticed is that when we have people come up and just share the stories, the success, sometimes we do not have people who share the failures, right? I do promise. Maybe if we come around for 6:30 tomorrow, I probably would still have 30 minutes before our speakers come up to just share a bit of my story. But if I'm not able to do that, don't worry. We would meet in the Beyond Schooling conference. I think the first one is going to hold for next week, Thursday. The flyer will be out and you guys will see it. And maybe the second one. So before it wraps up, I'm definitely going to make out time to also share with you, right? It wasn't the same for me. For me, I did over 7 years at home before I got into the university. You can already imagine. And then I got into the university in my head, in my mind. I buried my head inside. It was very simple. It was class, home, church. Class, home, church. I wasn't a part of any whatever, right? And all of that. So thank you so much, guys. Let me see in the comment section how the session has been for you. If you were around for yesterday and today's session, just let me see in the comment section, how has it been? Has it been worth your time? Do you encourage that to continue this yearly? Is this something? just let me get your feedback in the comment section. So I'm looking at the comment section and I am waiting to get your feedback. How has it been for you? Would also appreciate if we could have 1 or 2 persons, as many people who can, do like a video testimonial of the sessions, right? So I've been intentional since 2018, right, about what I'm called to do and my passion and all of that. But one thing I've never ever done, I've never been a person who celebrate my wins, right? I don't track the success from events like this because it's coming to me naturally. So I don't realize that for other people, this is something that they pay for. I don't do it. If I show you my trainings, able to go through the back end of my phone, people send message, thank you so much, ma. You know, especially when I wear my hat as a psychotherapist and work with people who've been through emotional and psychological wounds and help them heal, right? I don't post, maybe because the ethics of that profession as a psychotherapist is such that, you know, you really don't have the right to talk about people's experiences, because the first thing you want to do is that you want to protect them. You want to keep their identity. So I just don't bother myself talking about it. But this time we'll be so excited, right? If you are able to do, I don't know, maybe starvation. It will be glad if you can do it. I'll be excited if you can do this for us. Sosa, Lovett, Max. I'll be excited if we can get maybe a 1 or 2 minutes video from you guys, how the session has been. If I can get it tonight before our session tomorrow, I would appreciate as well. If you're not on the community, please do well to join the community, right? Do well to join the community. I'll just put the link to registering. What I do after. It's up there. If you're not in the community, that's the link to joining the community. Do well to join the community. Please like, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Bulk of these events that we're going to be doing is going to happen in the YouTube channel. Please, would appreciate your likes, your subscription, sharing the channel, commenting. We had a couple of number of likes and views yesterday, but there were no comments. Please do well to comment. Follow us on Instagram. That's the name. Just go to Instagram, African Youth Resource Development and Mentoring Hub. Please follow us on Instagram. Follow our page on Facebook. If you want to, you can follow me, Esoe Ideye, as well. Even on LinkedIn. I'm happy to see your testimonials, to share them. And basically, one thing why we're keeping the community is because we understand that there's so much knowledge, but implementation and execution is where the challenge is. So staying in a community where you can be handheld, right? It's something that I think every young person should take advantage of, right? Where you can be handheld, where you can have access to someone who is just going to ask you, how far? Why have you done this? Have you done that? And all of that. I'm not promising you that all of this will come maybe at no fee, because at the end of the day, I think another thing I've learned is that people don't value what comes to them without a fee, right? But I am sure that you just depends on you guys. You're going to have access to a whole lot of people who will be introducing to the community, and we're trusting that you're able to take advantage. Just yesterday, Ruth reached out, and the opportunity, what we are planning, it has metamorphosed past what I thought it was, right? And I'm looking forward to the people that are going to be able to take advantage of all these opportunities as they are coming. Meanwhile, somebody also reached out today to say they need volunteer. It's a startup. It's going to be one of those we're going to have in our Beyond Schooling series, right? He is, that record has not been broken. Nigerian fastest reader, right? He's CEO of Rapid Learning Academy, where he teaches people who have difficulty learning how to learn. And I've been there. I've been in one of his sessions. We see people literally learning how to read 1,000 words in 1 minute, right? He needs volunteers with regards to branding and graphics. So if you're interested, you can just send me a DM, right? oh, I'm interested to volunteer with this person. That's one opportunity or one person I know that if you really want to grow, that person will stretch you a whole lot. So these are kind of the opportunities that we're going to be bringing to the community from time to time. So if you're interested, you can reach out and let me know. I think, yeah, so it's a social media management and then branding and graphics design. So if that's something you think you're interested in, drop a message for me on via the DM. I'm with you guys on the group. So just drop a message and we'll pick it up from there. But until then, I see you all tomorrow. See you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow is the bottom pot. Tomorrow we'll be having Mr. Upgrade and Tosin, aka Hot Plates, Benin, with us, and you don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss it. So see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much. I was asking for your feedback in the chat, the energy, how you've learned. I only got feedback from one person, and because I'm a trained trainer, all of these things, they kind of count a lot for me. Can we know? Don't be stingy with appreciation. Don't do that, because when you do it, you are blocking the door for so many other persons, right? So guys, I've asked, let me see how impactful the session has been. What have you learned so far and all of that? Using an emoji, and I've gotten feedback from just Lovette and Obasugi. I don't think that's encouraging, guys. I don't think that's encouraging. So thank you so much. Our moderator will come up now and close the session. I guess I've even said everything, but it's gonna come up now. Thank you so much, Daniel. Daniel, if you're there, I am done. Thank you, guys.